All right, all right, all right. I still don't have an intro, but I got some news updates. So I'm not even gonna lie. I thought this shit was over. Um, it's one of the main reasons why I just kind of laid off. I was like, all right, we're beating a dead horse here. There's no new news. There's nothing that's gonna change the story. It's in God's hands now. And then fucking some shit comes out on like Thursday or Friday and like completely fucks it up. So I'm here. I was out of town. I'm back in town. I'm here with Allie. So like we're gonna cover, I guess, what's new. What's the last thing you heard?
Um, last thing I heard was they're gonna do some kind of an investigation.
Okay, well that was the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I don't know. I guess not really much didn't change, right? Robbi goes in with the hand of hands. She makes the moves of moves. She read the player, not the man, or not the hand, and she made the call of calls, I guess, as some people say, which was immediately cheating, and got hit with a lot of "You can't do that. You can't do that." Um, I love trying to find the rationale for irrational decisions, but that seems to be where we are at this point. There's no more like I fucked up. It's like, tell me why you would fuck up.
Tell me why I'm mad.
Tell me why I'm mad.
Why
And
you made me mad.
give me the reason that I want. Otherwise, I'm going to be upset. And the only thing worse than me being mad is me getting upset. So anyway, since we fucking talked, Allie, I guess, and internet, Garrett released a statement. Hustler Casino Live released a statement, and it's a little more than what you would think it was. I think last time we had looked into Rip, what kind of person was Rip. We found out he's working on his own oral gel company, which we didn't know. Robbi's helping him with that. We found out.
Oral
We found out. Yeah.
gel.
All right. So you don't have to just jump in, but
Yes, sir.
anyway, his own oral gel. He was working with selling CBD, and I think that kind of led to my conclusion was, which may or may not have been a part of my past, but I think Rip, might have made his money selling weed. If you're making fields of CBD, there's also those other plants that kind of got some THC in them, and those tend to go for a pretty penny, especially back when he might have been doing this. If he started in 2008, I don't think legalization is actually something that the rest of the country was dealing with. I know prices were high as hell. I know for a fact in 2008, O's were going for over $400 on
What?
a retail price easily. Um, so I don't know how I know that, but I do know that to be true. And so the amount of money that you can make off of LBs and stuff like that, it really just starts going up. And this is what retail's like willing to pay. You could throw a full one for 420. Nobody's shaking an eyelash. Singles going for $25 if it was good stuff or cheaper. This is retail, obviously. Some places you get different deals, but if you wanted quality stuff that wasn't trash bag weed, then
Junk dog.
popcorn, junk dog kid. Then you had to do that stuff. So I think that's reasonable. I think he doesn't want to discuss how he made his money. I know a lot of people got rich before legalization. It would not put me past that. Now, is that a good way to start this off, by accusing Rip of being a drug dealer? No. So maybe I should walk it back. Rip also, I mean, if he was working with CBD, I think just from a hustler perspective, you do want to, if you could get in with Jake Paul and those YouTubers and their influence, you know, get around there for free. Tell him you'll patch his hands up or some bullshit, and then give him some CBD and have him endorse that shit. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what's wrong with being a drug dealer?
There's nothing. I mean, when it's illegal, it's an issue. So.
Crime is bad. In theory.
My thing is, I think that Rip, how a lot of people have been approaching this, you know, besides this fucking Team Jacob, Team, the other dude, the vampire from, what's the tween version of
Twilight?
Van Helsing? Yeah, Twilight, yeah. So it was like that.
Edward.
Yeah, so Edward or whatever, or in this case Garrett, but or Team Robert Pattinson and Team Garrett. G's closer to Jacob is closer to a G. Doesn't matter. So anyways, it's been kind of all or nothing, but a lot of reputations are just kind of getting destroyed. I mean, look at this picture of Nick Fertucci, for instance. You think he's going to be able to come back from this? What a jackass. What a fucking jackass. But, I mean, come on, dude. With the flames. We're caught in the flames. Look, the first comment is this photo with nonstop hilarity. This guy looks like he's, coming into an elementary school to give a dare talk. Anyways, don't do drugs and ride motorcycles. Gosh. All right, so anyway, I know he's probably begging for that Harley Davidson sponsorship. There's the whole reason why he started Hustler Casino.
He also looks like a personal injury lawyer, but for poker.
Has somebody gone to the flop and hit on something sick? Like 7 deuce deuce. You may receive compensation. He looks like, he definitely looks like he gives advice on up and coming repo repairmen. or the car repossession. The car repossession. Anyways. So yeah, stuff's been getting thrown through, so I think it's perfectly reasonable. If somebody's got their money from selling weed and you're able to get millions of dollars, it's not a disrespect thing, because now you think about everybody that got rich off weed. It's not like they just started when that shit got legal. They were ready. Them niggas probably had their own supply chain, all types of shit, before this shit got legal. And then all of a sudden, man, how are you even able to move $800,000 worth of product on the first day? But anyways, so people get their money, however, but I went ahead and broke down a little bit of what we're looking at. So some of the news that you missed, that you didn't come out with, is after all this investigation, after all this bullshit, fucking motherfucking, what's his shit?
Garrett.
Hustler Casino Live comes out with a notification that there was a guy that stole $15,000 from Robbi's chip stack that night.
So this is like a whole separate thing.
Well, is it separate? Is it separate but equal? What are we looking at here?
Well, let's hear the story by itself in isolation.
All right. So isolation, guy stole $15,000 off of Robbi's chip stack while the chips were in the room.
Who's the guy?
He's an employee. His name is.
I remember an employee coming in there and grabbing something.
Well, this is at the end of the stream.
It's unaccounted for.
This nigga, huh?
That guy?
Yeah. Brian Sagbill Sal. Sagbill Sal.
So he just took advantage of the opportunity?
Who knows? He could have taken advantage. Shit's going around. Mass hysteria.
Yeah.
So maybe he took it. He saw, Robbi tends to be a lax ass girl, so I think if anybody you could have taken from, I think Robbi's perfectly reasonable. Some things. All right, go ahead.
Is it common to leave the table for an extended period of time with your chips there?
Is it common to leave the table for an extended period of time with your chips there? Most people close out or try and put their shit, I think, in their lockers or some shit before they go. Phil Ivey left both nights. That nigga just left, for like hours on end. And then and then he actually just left the casino with his chips there. Eric Person said he texted him, was like, "Oh yeah, I left." So the casino is responsible for getting those chips racked up and put away for Phil Ivey.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it does happen, but most people, you want to count your chips.
But like that's a level of trust he has.
You should be able to trust. Yeah, you should. You have to be able to trust the casino that you're playing with. And that's why this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
He did it in a room with cameras, right? And it's like, this, the craziest hand that fucked up the whole night. That's how crazy the hand was. And then this nigga goes, "This is my chance." Like, this is going to be the most reviewed thing, since the Alan Keating super high stakes shit. And it has become the most reviewed hand probably in a long time.
So is this guy's employee photo?
That's just this nigga sitting in a whatever. I'm not sure.
Maybe a Zoom call.
I don't think Light's coming in the Hustler Casino. Light, it could have been. It could have been his application for, I don't know what, to be a paper boy at Princeton. I'm not sure what it is, but he's young, probably some college thing. This looks like some sort of area with a printer. I'm not sure. He could have been working video production at a college or something. So what do I know about him and his personality? Oh, how about this? Let me just finish the theories. So the theories are, was this nigga just rogue stealing? Was he an accomplice? Was he like working with Robbi? He has access to the video room, so he could have got the cards real time from all the players.
Okay.
So was he working with Robbi? And then Robbi's, does this controversial hand, everything starts going to shit, and this nigga goes, "Well, I need to get my money." And so he snatches the $15K off top. Yeah. And then tries to keep it moving.
Interesting.
And so that's a theory that's out there. He could have just been acting alone. A few things about him. So there's reports that about 2 months ago, this guy started playing in higher wage poker hands than normal.
So this guy plays too?
He plays poker a lot.
Okay.
He plays a lot after stream. And so the rumor is he started playing in more games at higher stakes, and he sucks. Well, he's just not able to handle the pressure. And then afterwards, after this whole incident went down, he was playing later on, and that nigga had already played and lost all the money that he had stolen, $15K.
Wow.
There's also reports that there were confirmed quote unquote sharks or loan people out there, that had may or may not received some money from him,
Interesting.
and then all of a sudden he was out on the floor.
Yeah, maybe he was in a hard spot, or maybe he wants to be famous.
I don't think he wants to be famous, because you know you gotta be. If you can't, it doesn't matter what game you're playing if you're not winning. So you don't just up the stakes to 5K buy-in games because you're not winning the $600. So
That's interesting. Well, let's say so he knows there's cameras in there.
he works
Right?
there.
Do we know that?
He's got to know he works there. You have to know where your cameras are.
So there has to be a reason as to why he would go in there and grab that, despite there being cameras there.
Well, and that's interesting, right? So I worked in video production. I understand. When you're working on the production side, you have to have an awareness of the entire layout. You need to know where camera angles are because you need to stay the fuck out of them if you need to move and do stuff, so you don't mess up the continuity.
So he might know about
of the shot.
angles.
You have to know he knows where all of the handhelds are.
Okay.
And then he's working in the casino. So there had to have been incidences where he knows where the cameras are where he works at. He might not know all the angles, but after working there for a year, he could have definitely have seen some sort of footage that might have, some little bit of angle or two in the casino.
They don't focus on the staff either. Like when they're on camera, they pan away.
Yeah, you don't want them. Yeah.
So he probably could have reasoned, I'm just going to hide in plain sight, act like I know what I'm doing. It'll look normal.
I get what you're saying. It is the high roller room, so there has to be security in the room. But again, he might not know. He might know the cameras suck. Maybe he's thinking there's too many distractions for anybody to notice me. Just jazz music running in the background. One thing that's interesting is this nigga, the way he got the job is he just started volunteering and then eventually got picked up by the crew.
Okay.
That's not unheard of in film. I know a few people where the way that they got their job was, one guy told me they were shooting some show in Atlanta and all these people are loading crates off the truck and they're walking it in and they're loading crates off the truck and this nigga was just walking by and saw him doing it. And then he just looked left and right and then jumped on the truck and just started grabbing stuff in too. And then he worked the whole day and people were like, oh, go over here, do this, do that. And then at the end of the day, they go, I don't think we have your information over here. How are we supposed to pay you? And he goes, yeah, I was wondering how to get that squared away.
I love that.
And so they told him about how to pay him for the day, and then he ended up working for the whatever, and then just got in. He just got in for weeks. He got in. Once he was in, he was in.
I love that.
So, it's not unheard of to just start working for free. A lot of the jobs that I got, I had to be willing to work for free or work for cheap. I had to work for free until I could work for cheap, and I had to work for cheap until I could work for more. And that's just kind of how it goes. And so he also has a bad record. Allegedly, he has a charge of he escaped from prison, non-violent.
Was it a money thing? Financial crime?
He escaped from prison.
But what got him in prison?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think he could have had I don't want to get. I feel like I heard robbery, but I don't care.
Robbery sounds a lot like Robbi.
Somebody said that as a comment. They were like, "Oh man, there's scandal with the girl stealing stuff, and her name might be Robbi. You can't make this up." I was like, oh my, there's people out there that just they're just laughing at the first level. They're just happy to be there.
And 88 in my Scion TC.
Let's go to 88, my Scion TC.
And it's 10:35 right now.
6'6". So one thing, what do we know about Brian? Shout out to the rehearsal. But what do we know about Brian Sagbill Saul? I have a personality type, young punk. He's a bad liar, allegedly on Twitter. So when all this cheating allegations and stuff comes out, this nigga goes on Twitter and goes, "We don't need to look into the employees for this. This is just something that happened, and I think it's disgusting that the employees could be put under for this allegation."
Question.
Yeah.
Did he say that whenever they brought up the Robbi Garrett hand thing?
Yeah, that was.
And they weren't even talking about him?
They brought up Nick Bertucci leaks. We're going to do a thorough investigation of all staff, all players, everyone around, to make sure there's no cheating.
Gotcha.
And then this nigga jumps in like he's trying to make a stand. And he's like, "We don't need to search any of the employees. We work hard. We know what we're doing. Don't blow this out of control." And everybody's like, I don't understand. How could you have this much hypocrisy? And it's like, hello, this is a nigga trying to cover up for the fact that he stole $15,000 in chips. Yeah, that's the last. If I was this nigga, I would have been saying the same thing. You know, we need to do everything we can and check every camera we can, as long as we don't do it between 11:35 and 11:36 p.m. of that time. Otherwise, check every camera, every angle, except for 11:35 and 11:36, and we're gonna get to the bottom of everything that happened that day between opening day, those 2 times I mentioned before, everything. But yeah, it's like that's completely believable for somebody that knew that they stole $15,000, for him to be like, we shouldn't look into this. And I'd come up with whatever bullshit I can. Hashtag believe women. Whatever the fuck I needed to try and get this shit off of me. This nigga had to have been nervous.
I have another question. Two other questions.
I don't know.
They're short. Oh, so, do we see this guy on camera in the stream, or this happened after the stream?
I don't know. I don't
we
know.
have to go back and watch?
I didn't see him on stream. We can check it out.
Yeah. So my other question would be, was Rip there when that happened?
Well, I don't know.
Because he was being nosy to everything going on around him, so he probably would have noticed.
Was Rip being nosy, though? Why was Rip being nosy?
I could tell when Robbi and Garrett left, everyone kept trying to keep the game going, and he was sitting there like, and he was looking behind him like, they're yelling, or something like that. And then he's like, I'm going to go out there.
Well, I get it, but Robbie's his friend. If me and you show up to a poker club and we're playing and you do some insane call, and the guy who's the show boy for the show, this is a casino too. This isn't some pottery barn. Yeah. And the guy who's numero uno, goes, "What the fuck was that?" Calls the management into the back and then calls you to the back. I guess you're right. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep playing hands. No, you're right. No, it's cool.
But,
depends on how good the game is.
I think we agreed he was being nosy when we didn't know their relationship. When we first saw it.
I agree. It's nosy when you don't know the relationship. When you know they have a relationship, it's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. But I don't know about the whole yelling thing. Like, it's one thing to back your friend up, but to do all that?
I don't necessarily agree with yelling in a casino, but that's from a black perspective. That's, don't get police involved, because that's the end of me. So I don't know about that, but again, I think to yell in a casino, it's understandable. This is one thing that's interesting. If it is a grift, if they were, scheming, do you yell like that?
No, you would behave like Robbi did.
What do you mean like Robbi? Give the money back?
Yeah, like, it's okay.
But then this nigga's like, why the fuck did you give the money back, though?
Yeah, I would have acted probably a lot like him, minus the aggression, because I would just be so mad someone's accusing me. Because, like, maybe I just really used some strategy and read Garrett. I would be upset.
If you're Jacob or if you're...
I don't know who Jacob is.
If you're Rip or if you're Robbi, who are you playing in this scenario?
I can see how that's confusing. I said if I was Robbi, I would be acting like Rip. Like his reaction is better suited to her.
Rip's
You know?
reaction's better, yeah, but Robbi doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So then,
Makes her look really guilty.
is it professional in the scheme to for him to go compensate and go, well, still part of the plan was making a thing about this? I mean, it seems like a more natural than not. I wonder if I'm scheming, my partner who I'm scheming with gets accused of cheating. You get anxious. I mean, Rip was saying that he told the nigga, search my shit right now.
Yeah.
So we can get this shit done with. Anyways, let's move on. So, personality of this guy, young punk, definitely tried to cover up his bullshit with that statement about employees being okay. So that's what I covered about how that nigga is saying. I know I worded it wrong, but what I'm saying is he tried to cover up his stealing by saying, "Hey, we really don't need to look into the employees, guys," which is again understandable. Chooses to ignore consequences. I do think that that's something that we all go through as individuals, but it seems like this kid, with the amount of money he's bled out and the people that he's chosen to borrow money from,
Desperation.
it feels like this guy is addicted to gambling, and that's the only reason why I would steal $15,000 when I know there's a camera there.
Yeah.
That's the only reason, is because I just don't give a fuck what happens afterwards. So I think that can put you in a lot of positions too if you do choose to ignore consequences, precarious positions. I think him starting to run larger games 2 months prior does suggest, hey guys, I might have a little bit of an in on how to, rig some of these games. And so he's just catching money off the back end for a minute, but he's not good enough to hold it. But yeah, what's the focus? Is he Robbi's accomplice? He is not a professional player. He plays very bad. Volunteered and was not hired. And then his faults. The only faults that have been proven is he is a thief. He is a bad liar. He is a gambling addict, and he does lie. So we'll go over to the other players. I went and did this. I thought it'd be pretty cool. Let's go to his statement first. Let's see if they got his statement up. Brian Sagsib, Robbi, theft. Really?
Yeah, it's with an I, right? I mean a Y. Brian?
Oh, yeah. We should be able to just Google these, right?
Yeah.
Robbi said she wasn't going to press charges. Brian apparently messaged her and goes, this is apparently fake, but some people are saying it's real. I don't know. But he goes, please let me know if there's anything I can do to try and repay you. I just fell on really hard times. I didn't know that anyone could help me. Hard labor, clerical work. I'll do anything. I'm sorry. If you want to text me. And then he goes, can you go on Joey Ingram tonight? That's what Robbi said. Do you mind if we tweet this out? This sounds like something Robbi would say. So, yeah, keep in mind what Robbi says. If you want to do something for me, go on Joey Ingram. Yeah, I can. Do you mind if we tweet this out, too? I'll black out your number, but people need to know. And
Why would you ask him if he minds that? Because obviously he doesn't want that. But it's like, Do you mind if we expose your lies?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I just need you to tell the whole world that you're a thief and a liar,
Yeah.
and I'll be fine. This is also the starter. You had 100% power to press charges, but you chose not to. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. I'm really, really, genuinely sorry from the bottom of my heart for stealing. That sounds like, what do you get? Like an 8th grade or 6th grader to write that? I made a split-second decision that has now ruined my reputation and caused me to lose my only source of income. My life is fucked even if I never have to spend a minute in jail. I love when people kind of throw on the pity party.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I know that I know you might not spend a minute in jail. I don't give a shit whether you think your life is fucked or not. A lot of people's lives are fucked. They don't try and steal $15K. Anyways, I'm glad you understand that pressing charges would only have my life worse. I feel like everybody who presses charges understands that, you know? Like, if you press charges on somebody, the idea is, I'm going to make it worse. Like, it could only get worse.
Yeah.
Nobody benefits from getting charges pressed on them.
Yeah.
Anyways, I wish you were here so I could give you a huge hug and tell you I'm actually sorry.
No.
I grew up poor. I was born out of poverty. One guy said that to me one time. We were having this long talk about, tech and what he's working on in college and shit.
Philosophy and
Then
life.
he takes up, philosophy, life, all kinds of shit. Playing basketball. And then he comes up to me. He just starts smiling and stares off in the distance during a break in the conversation and goes, I was born out of poverty. Started smiling. I was like, what did I say? I was like, well, good for you. I can't remember what I said.
I think he was more like, and did you know I was born out of poverty?
No, he smiled and said, I do remember that.
I slept on rice bags and everything.
No, yeah. And I'm pretty sure I hit him with the, okay. I'm like 99% sure. It's the weirdest thing. I slept on a rice bag. It's like, dude, you live in one of the richest areas in the United States. So, must have been a tough year and a half for you. But then he goes, I grew up poor. I still am. And I was left at 18 to fend for myself. Most people. My mom was a meth addict, and my dad and I have a rocky relationship. Being at the poker table for me was an escape. Being at the casino was the only... I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't. It's a bunch of shit that led to, sense of home that I felt. My life fucking sucks. I was slaving away at HCL, getting paid bare minimum, and getting used by them to help them accomplish their goals of starting a show.
This is a justification.
Dude, seriously, it's like you don't think you're gonna get a producer gig if this show stays on for fucking years. You don't think your name goes up? If you've been there from the jump. Anyways, he was apparently their most senior employee.
Does he work for the casino?
No,
or for Hustler Casino
Hustler
Live?
Casino Live, and this is LA. Okay. This is different. This is just a film. This is one thing that people don't understand that I was thinking about, and that is the idea that people don't know what television looks like anymore. Like YouTube. I'm not just saying this because I am on YouTube. But I heard if you say YouTube a certain amount of times, YouTube puts you in their tube of algorithm. YouTube. But YouTube has their own thing with YouTube. And what they're doing is it's its own television network. Like these are streams, the amount of views that they get per day, not on your favorite person. Not on this video. The amount of total views that YouTube gets per day. I'd actually like to know that.
Yeah. I have a question.
Alright.
Has Hustler Casino Live released a statement that this guy admitted to it?
He admitted to stealing.
Like, I'm looking for a credible source,
Oh,
not
yeah.
like just some text from
Hustler Casino made the statement that they had.
that they believe he stole, or he admitted to it.
That he stole.
Okay.
Where's this? Just how many? I don't want to know how much do YouTubers make. What did I Google? Total number of daily active users. 122 million daily active users. Alright. So let's see. How many people watch? What's name a channel?
ESPN2.
ESPN2 every day. ESPN2 reaches 76 million households. There's got to be some sort of
Disney
correlation here. Nah, just ESPN2. ESPN Plus, I'm not.
Of course.
Alright. Well, I'm going with 76. This is probably ESPN 1. But it's bigger than ESPN, right? It's bigger than ESPN. Yeah. This is way bigger than what niggas think that they're dealing with. YouTube's huge. YouTube is TV now. And like it or not, but YouTube's TV now, fucking, it's just like any other channel, if not bigger. I think it's bigger, but they don't understand when they're doing Hustler Casino Live. If you got 25,000 people tuning in live on an internet channel, that's like it's giant. It's gotta be close up there for YouTube. And averaging that, and the average was going up too. But it's like, this is no longer some fucking bullshit shindig with what you think are just cameras that you can get away with, digital cameras and shit. This is like a full-blown media force, and this is set to be like one of the biggest things like in the world. Like, you don't just get smaller when you're getting 25,000 people to live view on YouTube. You get bigger. Just like Nick's upper body, but not his lower body. Nick's neckline. But it's getting huge. So they're not really understanding that, like, the employees that they got or whatever, like, these people are actually, they're going to be a part of something like really big one day if they don't get in the way of it. And that's kind of the position that this nigga was in too.
That sucks.
It sucks for him to not realize, like, dude, you got it all coming. Stay steady. You don't think if you're the senior employee at what could be like one of the largest live streaming platforms, in the United States, in the world, definitely in LA, you don't think that you could get gigs with that fucking knowledge and ability and that thing on your resume?
I wonder what would have happened if he told them, hey, I've got some debts, I've got some issues, there's these people coming after me, it's getting out of hand, just letting you guys know I'm dealing with that. They might have paid for it and been like, why don't you go to gambling rehab or something like that?
You don't know what they would have done, yeah, for sure. They gotta all understand addiction and gambling, and it's a little bit different because he is an employee with them. Apparently he's got 2 kids. I don't give a shit. But yeah, life fucking sucks. HCL getting paid bare minimum, accomplished their show. reach out for thank you for saving my life. Thanks for sparing me. Thank you for getting me out of that toxic workplace.
Oh,
Wasn't he
God.
regretting not being there? And then he's like, thank you for getting out of that toxic workplace.
You know, if it wasn't for me stealing from you,
My life wouldn't be the same. I mean, I understand. Who the fuck wants to work for Nick Vertucci? You know? That can't be a good look. That can't be something you're proud to say to your family.
oh my God.
Look how many fucking people are streaming on this thing that I'm doing, Mom. And they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Who's your boss? And then they cut into a shot of Nick Vertucci and that lady's just putting her hands on his face
Queen.
as he's sitting there at the table, and she's just touching his face. And she go, oh, my. Son, I think you need to get back into breaking out of prisons. I just want the best for you, honey. Thank you for changing my outlook on kindness and having a genuine heart means. All right, they're all not the best. I messed up on mine. But he's got 2 kids. He couldn't learn anything about kindness and a genuine heart from his 2 kids. I'm behind you 100%, and I've always been, by the way, now that I need you. Just so you know. And Robbi loves that. Keep the content. Wish I could stick around and listen longer, but I'll hear it when I'm off work. My nigga. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for shouting out. And yeah, do your thing, yo. But anyways, so Robbi, this guy, Brian, don't get it confused with my name. So these are the players. That's the news that came out. So this nigga's he's a thief. Is he working with whatever? There was reports that he moved his desk so that he could see the monitor, and then moved a filing cabinet to block the camera in the monitor room. He doesn't look like he's the best at hatching a plan. Well, wait, let's take another look. Maybe I'm wrong. Nah, he doesn't look like he's a master at hatching a plan. Look at the way those eyes are in.
They should have like one-way glass or something. Like, in the room you can see out, but it looks like a mirror. So you just can't communicate like with people. Like, well, if he was up to something.
He was communicating probably. Somebody said that he turned their mic on and off, and perhaps he could have been communicating with turning the mic on and off.
Like, kind of thing.
It could have been the static. It could have been just the light. Maybe it was the light.
Interesting.
But yeah, you know, a little. I imagine also. Well, no, players don't have earbuds in, so it would actually be kind of difficult to tell when the mic was off. Cause if it made a noise, everybody could hear it, right? The lav mic turns off, everybody could hear it. If you're not synced up to the audio, then I don't know how you're hearing. If you're doing the audio and the mic gets cut off, you can actually hear the difference from white noise to no noise. But if you're at the table, I don't understand how you would even necessarily know your mic's turned off. I mean, it's possible. I don't know if I could look down at my stomach and see whether the light is on or not, then perhaps there's some. Why do I have a picture of grapes up?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you could have. I mean, what are you doing? The fuck? You just questioning that shit? All the times you choose to not jump in with a question. You question something when I'm in the middle of a point, and then when there's grapes up, you're
all
like,
I said was
yeah. I mean, but the agreeance, it was like you had noticed it too. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. I would hope so. Anyways, this is your comment. These are the players, right? This is Robbi, and also as somebody that's done photography. As somebody that's done photography and videography, this is the LA Times photo that they did of her. I mean, come on, yo. You just don't care? What kind of shot is that? Like, that's one of the least flattering shots that you could have taken of this girl. Like, look at her. We should get a timer going and try and figure out. Robbi looks like an avatar. She looks like if they did a Mexican avatar.
Oh man.
Look how much taller she looks. Whoa. Look how much taller that neck looks with that angle. This is one of the worst angles. That line on the cheek, looking like gosh, she looks like her mouth looks like a split open orange. Robbi's built like a gargoyle on a perch right here, with this angle. You got anything? Gosh, look at them. The teeth are just little. They're like the top of the post. Those posts that people set around their house, that fencing. They're just all kind of connected.
It feels like they were trying to go for like a moment and convey an emotion. Like, girl, let me tell you about what happened last week. You know?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. How's your week been? Oh my gosh. But the tension,
sun's out.
the sun's out. That's getting her. The tension's on her neck.
But also, it looks like the heat is finally off me since this kid stole from me.
It does. She does look relieved.
Yeah.
She looks like, gosh, there was some movie with these cave people. Or I think it was called The Cave. And there's like these gargoyle things in the cave that was fucking niggas up. She looks like what's that movie? What's that movie that just came out? Luigi or some shit?
She reminds me of one of the fish from that
Mermaid.
really bad movie we watched one time.
Fish from what movie? She does look
Will
like.
Smith was a voice in.
Oh,
I
the
mean,
Shark's Tale? Golly.
Yeah.
What's that Pixar?
A blue fish.
Luca. Let's see if this is accurate. Nah.
That's not who I was talking about.
I know it's not.
But that's who you were talking about.
I mean, she looks like there was some movie where I saw like a mermaid guy and I was like, man, that kind of looks like Robbi right now. What do you think, huh? Luca? Could I get away with Luca? Luca, you might allow Luca.
Yeah.
Alright,
it's got the teeth.
They don't have the worn out cheek is the only thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, some sort of mermaid type person. Tim Burton character. If Tim Burton had a Hispanic widow in one of his movies. Anyways. Let's get back to the personality type. Jeez. Just looking at her. This is one of the least flattering angles. And this is what it is to be a photographer. You have to get the shot and you have to have the discretion to understand what's a good shot and what's not a good shot. What accentuates somebody's positive traits, which one is the worst one. It's probably one of the worst angles of Robbi on the internet. And LA Times ran an article on it. Good for you, Robbi. So, personality. I said Kardashian meets Bruce Banner. So apparently her husband said that she's done cancer research for over 10 years.
Who's Bruce Banner?
Bruce Banner is the Hulk.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but Bruce Banner is the guy that did all the research.
Okay.
You know, and then the Hulk's the other
and
side.
Her personality is Kardashian. Why him? Why Bruce Banner?
Cause she worked in cancers. What the fuck I was in the middle of talking
Sorry.
about? What the fuck? The fuck? Yeah, but why? Because you were saying it, but I'm trying to wonder why you would say it. So, Bruce Banner, she worked in cancer research for over 10 years. That's what her husband said. Works for Bayer. Like I said, I know a few people in sales. When you work sales, you have the luxury of not having to know everything, but you also have the luxury of having direct access to the engineers in order to learn more about what it is that you're selling. So she could have learned a whole fuck ton about fuck shit, and could have learned a lot about a lot, you know. And if she's in a senior sales position, she's in a lot of meetings. She's hearing about some shit. She's understanding how shit gets done. She's seeing shit start from shit and turn into something, turn into revenue, and then turn into a lawsuit later, but is not even close to how much they made in revenue for the settlement. So she knows about all that stuff. She knows about being a mermaid. Come on, you know.
Oh yeah, I was gonna search my fish.
Mermaid.
Search shark tail.
Alright, we're not gonna get this. There's some. Alright. Shark tail. There's some movie that I saw recently. She does. She's got the neck. Unfortunately, with that angle, it gave her that Will Smith neck where it's all hunched back.
Maybe it was a different movie.
Finding Dora? I'm not doing Finding Dora. Shark Tale was good because it was ugly. Ooh, is this it?
No.
There's a little bit. It's got the
character.
cheekbones. She does. She even looks like this one. So.
Yeah.
The point is, it's a horrible angle. Avatar. So, anyways, Kardashian meets Bruce Banner. She's got the science and she's got the vanity. She's vain. I think it's VAIN. You can tell from the notes. I'm pretty sure it's VAIN. But she's vain. I remember one time she was this is a story that came out. Julie, she lied and said that she had played with Julie.
Who's Julie?
Julie is a blonde girl. She's a producer. She comes on.
Robbi lied.
By all intents and purposes, she's overweight. But like 50. Robbi lied to somebody. I think to Ling Ling or somebody, and said that they were had been fucking doing something together. Oh, they had played together in another game.
What makes you think they haven't?
Julie said that they didn't.
Oh.
So Julie said, "Hey, I heard that." She said, "We played together," and she's like, "Nah." And I was like,
Interesting.
But somebody had told Julie, "Hey, I heard you played with Robbi," and they were like, "What?" That's what Robbi said.
Maybe she got her confused with someone else.
Could have. I don't know. Julie's been on the stream. I imagine she watched the stream. She probably really wanted to be on this show.
No, I mean Robbi, because isn't she kind of new to this world and who's who?
Who's who? Yeah, it's possible to get people confused. For sure. I don't think we should rule that out. And there's not really anybody that looks like Julie. Julie is a blonde, 50-year-old woman.
There's a blonde girl that co-hosts that podcast.
Yeah, she don't look 50. She looks 40.
50's the new
She looks 42. Julie looks 50. Julie looks like older 50. Her? Julie looks like what 50 looked like 20 years ago. And Julie don't care. She probably smoking a cigarette too. Julie, hustler. Julie looked like 50 back when niggas looked, Julie's like, Julie, you would call her a young lady, and then she'd go, haha, yeah, but I'm no young lady. And then you'd go, sure you are, and she'd go, stop playing.
She doesn't look like old 50.
She doesn't look like an old 50, except for this photo.
Oh,
She looks like a hungover 50.
She looks like her hairline's receding.
Ouch. Jesus.
I think it's all about the ankle.
Julie, hey, I agree. And Julie looks fine. you know, these are just descriptors. I still think,
Yeah.
you know, Julie.
She doesn't look overweight either.
Somebody's lady. She does look overweight. This is again. You
Maybe
don't
she
have to
just
make
has
it up.
big boobs.
Alright, she's not. What was her name? The lady that was in. Oh gosh, in White Lotus or whatever. Oh gosh.
I know
Anyway,
who you're talking about there.
I always thought she was Suzanne Summers, but she wasn't.
She does look like that lady.
Oh gosh. But I'm just saying her tits aren't that big, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know, but she's fine. It's overweight is like we're going by. You know, peak
By what the textbooks say.
peak weight that you're supposed to be.
BMI.
And then you got a little bit of a range.
Like what your doctor would tell you.
Sure. And then if you're out of the range, then you're overweight.
Yeah.
So that's it. You're just over the range. But she is. And she's fine.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being overweight.
Which is fine nowadays. And so, anyways, the fuck was I? Okay, so she lied about the thing, but anyway, so then Julie says she plays a hand. Robbi plays a hand. She says, "I'm buying in for 5K." She doesn't have her chips, but she goes, "I'm 5K," and they let her go, anyways. Even though you're supposed to have chips before you start betting. Robbi goes all in with eights. Other person's got like ace king. Eights hold up, so she doubles up. So I think she gets like 6,000.
Okay.
And then Julie goes, "Hey, you're still 5 behind. You never got your 5 from when you bought in." And Robbi goes, she said Robbi ignored her. She could have ignored her, could have not heard her. Same thing, right? I think.
This is the game where they actually did.
Are you
play
done with
for the
this?
First time. Yeah.
I don't know. It's the time when they played.
Well, you said they never played together.
Oh yeah,
now
then
you're referring to.
I guess it was the first time they played.
Okay.
And so it's a good call. And so anyway, so then she goes, "I'm not 5 behind." She doesn't listen, and then after that she goes, "Hey, you're 5 behind." And then someone goes, "Yeah, you are 5 behind." And she goes, "I'm not 5 behind." And then she goes, "Yeah, you are 5 behind." She's like, "I'm not." And then the people are like, "No, you are." And the floor guy comes over and goes, "You know, you gotta pay up to $5,000. Because you have to buy in."
Yeah.
And so Julie said that she was wasted. Julie said that she looked like she was drunk, right? And people are asking like, well, why'd she buy in for 5K? If she's got so much money, why did she buy in for 5K? I don't understand this whole thing where it's like, if you got $1 million, why would you only spend 2,000? It's like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't matter how much money I got. It's how much money I plan on spending.
And if she's drunk, maybe she doesn't want to play with that much
That's the
money.
thing. It's smart to not play with fucking a 50K buy-in if you're fucking shit-faced. And she's going, maybe I'm going to do this thing where I run up a small stack like Phil Hellmuth, one of the guys. And I think she ended up buying in. She was wasted. She was so wasted she either was so wasted she couldn't count her money, right? And she struggled to count 3,700, right? Gave it to the guy. These are Julie's words. Guy says it's 3,700. She gets 13 more hundred out and then pays him. Struggled to pay the 5, right? But Julie says that she's shit-faced. I think struggled is such an interesting word because I don't know about you, but when I think of that, I think of drunk hot girl mindset. And she's like, I don't have to pay if I don't want to, and then she does pay. And then I know a lot of bitches that are so drunk they can't even fucking get money out of their purse.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far. My impression is she doesn't feel the need to respect everyone else by making sure that it's taken care of.
Ooh. What kind of person would do that?
Yeah. I don't know if she was exactly expecting to just get away with that. And I don't think that that seems a little too petty.
Wow, where can I put this note? Doesn't feel the need to respect everyone else. That's a great point. Maybe we'll do a little thing with like new stuff. right with this. I can't do that. What happened to the blueberries?
But it's also a thing of like, if you're drunk and you forgot, but then you think you did, and so you're gonna double down and say, no, I did, because if you really think, you know, you put that money in already. So that's why I think that the furthest you could go is saying, well, she at least doesn't have enough respect to make it a priority.
So is that a respect for money or the people around her?
The people around her. Because it's like, don't you want to make sure the books are clean? And like, if you lose this hand, other people are going to get their shit and there's no confusion? Because then, otherwise, if you don't, it's going to look awkward and people are going to wonder, like, was she just trying to get away with that?
Yeah. That's an interesting point. Doesn't respect the people around her. I like that one.
Well, and I wonder if we have enough. People were talking about sample size. Do we have enough to say this is out of character or this is how she behaves?
Yeah, and my thing is, you know, this has got drunk girl vibes. This has got specifically drunk hot girl vibes, right? Like, those are definitely, I'm gonna ignore you. I'm me at this table.
Yeah, this is my world.
This is mine. I don't have to buy in. Ooh, that's a big leg up too. I don't have to buy in like everybody else because I'm Robbi. She said she didn't have her ID. I know a lot of bitches that don't have their ID, yo. My face is my ID. You can't replicate my face unless you get the same procedures, style, and use the same doctor, Mrs. Ramos, as me. But, no, that's a very interesting point. So I think that there is that to her.
Which is falls under the umbrella of hot girl mindset.
It is hot girl mindset, so yeah.
Because it's a self-centered.
There we go.
Mindset.
Wants to be one of the guys. She goes by Robbi. I mean, soon, give her 2 years, she'll be going by Robert.
Okay.
Name can't be Robbi.
Maybe she'll start going by Robbery.
Okay. So, anyways, Robbi, I think she's going for the guy name. And if you're born with a guy name, if you did get named Robbi, you gotta live up to that shit. You gotta live up to being a girl named Robbi, one of the guys.
Maybe she was named after her dad, and her name's Roberta.
It's alright. You just take a break. You don't have to always.
What's Robbi short for?
Wants to be respected. Some people care about that more than others. Respected. A lot of times, you know, people are jumping in. She's got her whole. Hey, I have this. I've been placed in this. I've gotten these ones. That one guy in the Solve for Why, the guy that looked kind of like a Chinese Winnie the Pooh. He was talking about he played a hand with Robbi. He tried to bluff her, and she called it, and then she let him have it for a minute. It was some misogynist manifesto. Acknowledge it. She wants to be acknowledged. You know, she goes on to start talking some shit, and she's like, "You guys got clout because of me, and because of having me on the show." And it's like, whoa.
You can think that.
You've been hot for like half an hour, and the LA Times photo's not helping. But, and she's like, I'm going to be on the, like it or not, I'm going to be on the LA Times.
You know what? It's such a stupid thing to say. Because, like, it's kind of like passive-aggressively trying to assert that you're innocent. Because the verdict's not out yet. But you're acting like, because that's the only context that would be acceptable to say in.
Yeah. And
so, since the verdict's not out, how's Hustler Christina Live supposed to respond to that? You made us I made you famous. but like they're not gonna be tolerant of cheating, and they don't know if you did or not yet.
Well, she said it to Joey, or she said it to the people that were on Joey's pod. It's still, I get the statement. If I am innocent, that's the statement I think it's not out of line. I'm innocent. So
Yeah.
you start getting attacked with enough shit to the point where you're like, you know what? Fuck anybody
Yeah.
that was doubting me. You know, you start getting hit by a lot of shit. And I know she wanted all of this clout, but, you know, she still got to learn how to handle it. It's like,
Yeah.
you couldn't even, you were fumbling in front of Garrett. She literally ruined her big moment.
Like she was bragging and then she ruined it.
This is how big fucking fame is.
Sometimes other people besides you win, Garrett.
She had it too. She said, you're bullshit. You didn't have shit. And it's like, let it flow. Just let it sit. If you don't have shit either, Robbi. Like, just let it sit. But yeah, it's not hard. So she's the only, this is how big fame is. She actually became famous. She had her big moment. Talked herself out of it. And then will still become famous afterwards. She cut her own 15 minutes of fame into like 4. And then is going to get the other 11 back, or maybe even a brand new 15 after this. She wants to be one of the guys. She wants to be respected. She wants to be acknowledged. She wants to be Middle Eastern Madonna.
Okay. Maybe a little too on the nose, as they say.
It was a little too... Yeah, that's a good word for it. Macadamia?
Macadamia.
I don't know. I was just trying to really go for something there. I thought macadamia sounded kind of foreign. Like, that's what they would call her in the Middle East. Macadamia.
Sounds like a nutty country.
No, that was not what I needed to hear. I didn't want to... and I was laughing at what was going on in my head, which sucked. Because then you said your thing, and it looked like I was laughing at that. I had my own thing in my head that I was laughing at, and then you said that, and I look way worse now. I did not want to laugh at that shit at all. I was laughing at the idea, thinking, man, where do macadamia nuts come from? And that was fun to me. And then you said your thing. And that was so bad I didn't expect you to say it. I didn't think at all you were coming with that. Maybe I was too embarrassed in my own thing. You know, I didn't want to do whatever, but I did not want to have anything to do with that. Where do macadamia nuts?
I think it's macadamian.
I see macadamia. So, guess who's wrong? Australia? White macadamia nuts are grown in Australia. Commercial production mainly in Hawaii, Asia. Alright. I think foreign is the thing that I was going for, and I think macadamia is allowable. Plus, doesn't she look like a fucking, she got a head like a macadamia nut right there?
Got a good point.
Got a head like a macadamia. Kind of looks like one of those, pistachios. I think macadamia. I'll allow macadamia. She's driven. What do we know about Robbi? She is driven. I have to believe. I have to.
Imagine calling somebody that.
I know. That's why I at least thought to say it. I was like macadamia, whatever. I don't think it was a bit. Oh yeah, Robbi, aka of course Angelina Jolie from the other one. But yeah, she's driven. And you know, if what he says about her doing cancer research, I mean that's a tough thing to kind of bring up as a lie. But you know, that sounds like somebody who's driven. Um, I think with what I hear about how hard, this is all actually just from Charles Liu, but he also said that she works hard. I think if you're always willing to show shit off to people, I think you are working hard. I think you're kind of at that point where it's like, maybe I've been working hard for long enough that other people need to know.
Yeah.
So.
And fuck it. You don't need to be. I think the self depreciation trend is over. And now people wear. Now we're in the self care movement.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I think self-deprecating is over, and we are in the more, well, we're self-involved. We definitely been like that for a while. Hopefully we do find a balance, but I do think, self-involved still has to run its course. It is hot right now.
Yeah.
It's like Hansel. Silver spoon. She mentioned that she had a silver spoon. She says, maybe I don't understand money the way other people do, because at 23, I had a silver spoon in my mouth.
Did she say
but
that?
still, that was what she said in an argument. And then also, one thing we can't forget about Robbi. Boobies. Part of her personality. Focused. Accused of cheating by Garrett. That seems to be the main thing going on with Robbi here. Is not a professional poker player. Something to understand. If she's not making professional poker player calls, it's probably because she's not a professional. Only proven false. Inconsistent stories. She has a tough time maintaining consistency. I understand she was in a tough spot. I think in the other times that she's talked, there's still a couple times where she kind of railroads over some stuff that was a little bit contradictory. She does play loose. She is an egotistical person.
Can I add something?
Sure.
When I heard the phrase word salad mentioned in regards to her, I was like, that's it. That's the phrase.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word.
Word salad was perfect, right?
Yeah.
With oil and vinegar. I do agree with that. Notable quotes from Robbi, and these aren't even the good ones. These are just the ones I was thinking about. Well, these aren't even. I'm sure there's some better ones, but still, it is a good idea.
Good ideas to include it.
You go all in with these huge bluffs. That was one thing that she said after the hand happened with Garrett, and it's like, if you think that he's bluffing because it's a huge amount of money, that's a little bit, that's a questionable strategy. She hasn't employed it too much, and maybe she just had the right time with it. She was already ready to do that shit earlier. So she could think that she has a read on Garrett. That's just a natural poker thing. And you know what it is. If you bet huge amounts when you're bluffing, then when you got it, you're gonna get paid off big. But you also gotta pay your dues. Can't just go all in every time and everybody folds. At the end of the oh yeah. She also said another thing. Guys like to bluff at girls. I think she said that later on that night. That's her understanding of it. It's kind of true. You don't get fake tits to have somebody play it tight, trying to get some action. This is one thing that she said that was pretty annoying, but she said it. She's like, I did the call, I made the hand, I read the person. At the end of the day, it was ballsy as fuck. And she's like, and it is what it is. And it's like, she just wanted to say, I love how she's like exhausted. She's like, at the end of the day, I'm the coolest fucking bitch you ever met. But ballsy also is just, I read the player, not the hand. You all are just trying to get clout off me. That's what I heard yesterday.
That sounds like something a 21-year-old told her to say.
Ouch. Yeah, her daughter does all her PR. Who is halala lala 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 Bob?
She said that?
Yeah, about Harala Bob Bulgaris. I will say, the first time you see the name, it's whatever. But she said it like 4 times that way. And, it's funny the first time. It's allowable the second time. Can't go back a third and fourth. And then it turns out Haralabob Vulgaris is also like a lot more known than she is. So it's a wrong person to say that. This guy was an executive with the Mavericks. He was known for probably a 10, 15-year span as the greatest sports bettor in the history of at least at the time. How about that? The history. I don't know enough about it. He was and then got a job from how good he was at. All right. At the end of the day, the LA Times is doing an article about me. That really comes to backfire with this face.
That
sucks.
Such a weird thing to say.
It is. I thought I had a pair of threes. I don't like that one. The next player, Garrett.
That face. He looks like he's gonna vomit.
Personality type, the sculpture. It's Garrett, aka the index finger, aka the AI, aka the goat. Garrett, personality type is the sculpture. Garrett will always look the way he is supposed to look in public.
That is so funny.
Very hard at that.
Yeah.
Look at the hair.
His hair's combed perfectly.
Look at those rows.
Even though it's so short.
Every day. He's very disciplined. You can tell from the hair alone. His workout regimen, how hard he works, how he plays poker too. He has a deflective personality. If somebody gives him a compliment, he will push that shit away. He is not big on that. I think he thinks highly of himself, and he's trying to do anything he can to not have his head explode from his own ego about himself. Asperger vibes. He likes to be comfortable with his juice box positioned just so. I think there's just some parts of his game that are very, I don't know, within a box.
Algorithmic?
Sure. I think he likes things a certain way, especially with like the straddles and stuff. Like if everybody's not straddling, he won't straddle. But the point of straddle is to like up the ante and kind of get, more fun in it. But he's like, but if everybody's not doing it, it's not fun. So it's an interesting kind of concept. But he loves to actually straddle. Stuff like that. I heard some stuff about pushing people out of games. He seems like a particular kind of guy. I feel like that's maybe just a summation of the last thing.
Like an intense personality.
I'll allow it. Very, like on his honeymoon, his wife comes out of the shower and he's studying poker on the bed, and she goes, "So, what do you want to do today?" And he goes, "I told you don't talk to me from 7 to 9." And then he just kind of goes, "Woof," and makes like these wide, angry eyes, and then turns away. 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. He says, may not force the issue, or he says, that's what I said. He may not force the, Jesus, fuck. Zit. And that was a combination of me, like, hearing what I was doing, wanting to bail, hearing myself about to articulate my bail, but wanting to bail from that. My desire to let it sit, but to keep it going because it's me.
And now it's all flooding.
And I don't want to let it sit on me. I'd rather push through it. But I'm so hardwired to just let... Okay. So hardwired to just let the bad shit sit that out of respect for my fuck up, I guess I literally stopped myself from continuing. Should be fine now. May not force the issue, but may not back down. And that kind of means, I don't know, sometimes I don't see him be as aggressive on the, like, especially in public. You know, even if with hands where people muck their hands. I still remember that time when that nigga thought for like 3 minutes when he had not shit. And Garrett just goes, I have it. And then the guy folds. But I think it is a certain kind of, I want this stuff to just kind of get done. Sometimes, you know, instead of telling you to hurry up and play more throughout the day, just kind of say I have it. Where it's like, that's kind of a message for the rest of the day, right? Like, dude, you know how long you've been taking? Like, I just broke poker protocol. Jesus, it's taking me a minute here to get this talk back. But, I don't know. Could be because I'm BSing a little bit. Or not explaining what I want to say the best. But I think I'm doing a decent enough job. If you've seen Garrett play, the guy's not one for making a scene, but he's not just going to let a scene get made on him or, you know, anything that violates his line of PR. So the focus, longtime poker pro / great. He is Robbi's accuser. And then his only faults, he's too by the book. So if you know every single move and you play by the book, Eric has exploited it. And then as far as Robbi goes, or anybody else he's playing with, you know, it's easy to, if somebody's not playing by the book, then it's not going to add up, and they could essentially throw you off your game. One thing that's interesting, no, I appreciate it though. I was thinking about that guy that thought for like 8 minutes and he didn't have it against Garrett. Maybe we can look at that hand where Garrett goes, I've got it. Oops, you can see these stats. Yeah, I actually do want that. Thanks. I've got it. I wonder how shitty this guy's hand was. I think it's this one. Ethan's got ace queen suited, queen. Ace queen suited.
They start streaming at 9 every night or 8?
During the week.
Oh, it's Sunday.
7:30. Show starts at 8. Manscaped.
I love the idea of advertising without context. Boner.
Well, I'm back on the mic, and I'm looking at Ethan with ace queen against the 8th wonder with jacks. Garrett's too smart of a player, I think, to lose too much in this pot here. And why would he even have to worry about losing with turns like that? Oh my God. Ethan, we're going to say a rosary for you right now, buddy. And I'm not even Catholic. Here we go, guys.
He has like
Here comes the sun run by Adelstein. I mean, Ethan has to call. Poor kid.
The Mel Gibson. This kind of looks like he's fed up.
Check.
What do you guys think? About a 50 ball out of Garrett here, 60, 35.
You have 7 big chips.
What's the bet going to be, folks?
Yes.
Maybe it's just going to be all the big chips. Maybe 7 big chips.
Look at this. Look at the. I'm looking at the how much he's looking over at.
Nope.
Him.
It's going to be all the big chips.
He was
Every
looking at
chip
him hard the last
to his
game.
name.
Well, no, it's just like, or the last on the turn, but he just usually doesn't make that much eye contact.
It's a really gross spot for Ethan.
Looks like
Ace Queen is a really strong hand here.
But he usually never looks over. Tries not to just give him a
He
good
could
way.
possibly put Garrett on Ace Jack. Yeah, I could put him on Jacks, but I can't
Don't
see.
get time chips. Look,
He's going to use all
I
his
think
time
it
chips
was-
here if he's smart. Really, hopefully, think this out. But this is typical Adelstein at his best. I think he might be able to find a fold here because he's stepping up so high in a game. And this is so
He's throwing
big.
them chips and Garrett's like, come on.
But it's 66,000 into 121. I mean, it's tough.
This guy.
I think this is more of a fold here.
Better hand than
You just never know.
He's got a better hand than most people think. But are you betting 66?
I mean, if he were to call this and win, if he had a winning hand, he goes back home to go.
Just like ace and what kicker? 9 kickers?
But now if he
Feels
calls,
like a
he's going to go
bluff.
home in a body bag.
What do you? So he's taking forever to do this call. I think that this should just be a fold, right? You got to fold here. And he's just taking forever to run through this shit. Time chip after time chip. Alright, let's finish this.
I've got it.
Wow. Look at this. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Did Garrett just tell him he's got it? You want to talk about giving somebody some mercy. And he's going to show him too, I think. Did he show him? Tell me if I heard that right. Did Garrett just tell Ethan I got it and save him 66,000?
Yeah.
I think so. If he's doing it.
Yeah.
Tell me, did I hear that right?
I'm not gonna say. You guys can watch it back too.
Wow.
What is going through your mind?
I mean,
Poker's cutthroat, and he bet the 66,000 or whatever to put them all in. So what do you think it is when he puts the money out anyways to put him in, but then tells him I've got it, and that you shouldn't call me?
He might see it as, I don't want to take this guy's money, you know. I'm a nice guy. But
It's not I'm a nice guy. It's not that.
it's like he's, I don't know. He doesn't want to dominate you or something.
Friendly or patronizing? I mean, it's not friendly. It's not friendly. I guess it is. Is it patronizing or not? I mean, it could just be because Garrett just wants a game to fucking go on. Like,
Oh yeah, true.
maybe he just wants to keep this game going. This guy's got plenty of time to get fished out.
But that's been dealt with in the past differently. Like you can just give someone some money.
No, you don't do that.
Okay, well, what was I gonna say? Oh, I think it would be respectful to challenge someone and be like, "Ha, gotcha." Bet you didn't think I would do that, you know. But it seems like he's kind of like, "Hey, I was gonna scare you."
Well, no, that was, I don't know. I don't think that was like a joke. You're saying that it's like, hey, I was just messing around with this whole fake gun with this 66,000, you know, this another barrel. You know, but I do have it, so you should just fold. It's the guy could have called at any point in time. It's way you couldn't possibly run that. I think what it was I think it had to have. It's like passive patronizing, is what it is, right? Garrett will never probably just not gonna patronize you up front, but that's his way of kind of saying I'm tired of this shit. Don't waste, you're not even good enough to lose his money right now.
Yeah.
In my eyes, right? Like, or maybe it's a mercy or whatever, but I don't know why he has mercy for this guy.
Can I say another thing? It like reminds me of the kid on the playground that's like, okay, well, we know that I'm about to win, or we're about to win because of the points that blah 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 blah. So that's the game, and then everyone is like caught off guard because they were just like having fun, continuing playing the game. Yeah.
I think I've done that sometimes, where it's like, all right, this is pretty much over, so we might as well.
It's like calling the game off because. Well, I was also gonna say it kind of assumes that everyone wants to play the game exactly like he does. Like, what if this is what this guy is like here for? Like this to play like the game all the way through.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I'm not really gonna go with that. I mean, it's at the end of the day, poker's like, everyone's trying to steal from the other person. These are 8 hyenas who travel in a pack, but they're all just as hungry.
Okay.
And there's no camaraderie. There's no I just want to play. It's like you just want to play, and I just want to take all your money. And that's the agreed upon dynamic at the table.
Okay, so this is like a newer guy he's playing with?
There's some nigga that just showed up, yeah.
Okay.
Just some rando. And he clearly, Garrett, just for whatever reason, it seems more like a pity thing, right?
That's different.
But it doesn't seem braggadocio? Maybe it's, I think it's braggadocio and not braggadocious in that sense.
Knowing that information is like when you're like an amateur and you've gotten in the ring with a pro boxer, they're not going to hit you as hard as they can.
I mean, it could have been, but again, Garrett takes money from everybody. It just, for whatever reason, Garrett just said, I got it this time. It's the only time Garrett's ever done it. So it's not like it's just something that happens. He likes playing softer people so that he can, do that shit. So that he can take money from them.
So why did he do that?
There's no, I don't know. That's the point of it, is that he did it. What was the motivation behind it? But this guy, there's something about him. It has to be for selfish reasons is the point. It's not because of anything for that guy. It's because this guy pretty much dictated the way of the game because he got, for his own personal reason. And that's the whole point of why I brought it up. Yeah. And, so friendly, he's disingenuous.
Kind of like, I'm the reader.
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. To a certain extent, but this was more smarter than the way that went down. Longtime poker pro, Robbi's accuser, and then two by the book, been known to control games and lineups. And then, great, but isn't big on competition. He likes playing against the weaker players. You mind,
Looking for your phone?
looking for my phone charger?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thanks. Alright. Let's do RIP. So let's read Garrett's statement. Garrett dropped a statement also a couple days ago.
And I'm also waiting for this update still.
So, although more information will soon come, there's one plugged up over here.
Oh.
You just gotta plug it in.
Okay.
It's on like a cable that looks like the laptop one. Oh, it's on this. Yeah. So I could have done it myself. All right. Although let's see, dropped this a couple days ago. Although more information will come to light, I want to clarify: I harbor no ill will towards anyone, especially those who have recognized or reconsidered their position. If you stand with me, please support me, or please join me in supporting Big Brother and Big Sister.
Who?
I don't know.
Charities?
Yeah. Anyways, update on the investigation. This is what he tweeted. High Stakes Poker Productions has assembled a team of experts to conduct a thorough investigation of the Robbi Garrett hand and to audit our technology and security protocols. We have retained Bulletproof Gaming Laboratories. Oh, Robbi just retweeted it. This is the Hustler Casino live statement. Observed a High Stakes Poker Productions employee removing chips from Robbi's stack. Mr. Savagus Ball. Let's see what Robbi's other statement, or Garrett's other statement. Garrett dropped another statement the other day where he actually indicted a few people.
Indicted?
Yeah, Garrett called him in. Did he take that thing down, his update? Oh, wow. Did he take down his other update?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe this is it. This forum server shit. Alright. Yeah, so this is it. First off, I hope everyone can understand the delay in finalizing between compiling all this information and getting everything approved by my legal team. Everything was bound to take some time. Alright. I can say with great confidence that Robbi was very likely the part of a cheating ring of at least 3 members, including her, Rip, Brian, and potentially others. So it was right 100%. Now it's very likely. Legal teams involved. Although I have strong suspicions of many hands that were cheated and the specific methodology and roles of each member in the cheating ring, my legal team has advised me to leave this information out of this initial report. I may choose to disclose in the future if the story continues to be derailed. Based on the evidence presented below, what I can say about the methodology, it's highly likely there were instances when Brian had access to the hole cards, signaled information about those hole cards to Rip, Robbi, or potentially both. And Robbi likely used this information to cheat in several hands over 3 sessions. Robbi used it to cheat in 3 sessions. Rip lost money in every session. Interesting why they would include Rip to lose 120.
To take suspicion off of him.
Rip lost 120 in the first 2 sessions. I don't think Robbi made 120 in the first 2. Anyways, I will also say JRB did run up 100,000 to $1 million. So that did happen. So it could have been the plan, but anyways, I can also say with great confidence, based in part on the evidence presented below, that Robbi and Rip very likely worked together as a team in the 2 streams they played together to cheat the rest of the table. Video evidence will show several instances of them using verbal and non-verbal communication to accomplish this goal. Additional camera footage beyond what's shown in the live stream will likely go a long way in further implicating the 2. although I was able to get my 135, I believe they have very likely been cheated in several other hands as well. Same is true of several other regulars on the show too, who have likely been the victim. I understand the messages are being shared that imply that Brian was acting alone, but based on everything I have discovered, that theory is incredible for many reasons that many of you are surely putting together. Highlights from the report. Jeez.
What report is this?
His own report.
Oh, okay. Kind of like his statement.
Yeah. Video evidence of Rip and Robbi working together. Robbi lied about several aspects of her relationship with Rip. Beans likely lied about his relationship with Robbi, including an exchange of money a few days prior to the game.
Beans?
We'll
You mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, we'll get into Beans. Rip, Robbi, and Nick Airball dined together for 7 hours on 9/28. The next morning, Airball agrees to give Rip $175K, and the hand took place to play the day that the hand took place. Financial relationship between Robbi and Rip was not made known to the other players until after the Jack 4 incident. Bean's own recollections and information from many others suggest that he may have a criminal record and is a known scammer.
Beans?
Beans has been referred to as the king scammer of Kansas City.
What? Really?
And was a person of interest in a 2017 robbery of the Bellagio Casino. He refused a polygraph in that case and admitted he had a colorful past. Brian of Hustler Casino Live is a known problem gambler and criminal with the means and motive to play a key role in this alleged cheating effort. Brian has also publicly sought information on methods of cheating prior to the games in question.
Publicly sought?
Yeah. He's got two
Check out a library book?
How to cheat at work. On 9/27, Robin was seen by Julie Yorn angle shooting a min-buy at the bicycle when they played at the same table. Robbi was unable to produce ID, made several statements that either raised suspicion or contradicted other things she said publicly. A source with direct knowledge gives a detailed account of Rip's alleged history as a con man, including boxing scams, misrepresented businesses, and other concerning details of the past. Following the incident, both Beans and Robbi have given suspicious, contradictory, seemingly false stories. Analysis of red flags from the Jack 4 hand. So this nigga has a few he has a few videos that we've kind of all seen and kind of debunked. In 2021, Rip was arrested for alleged assault. Oh, wow. The article, Jake Paul might not have knocked anyone out on Sunday night in his pay-per-view boxing match in Cleveland, but two of his trainers might have the day after.
Oh, God.
Jeez. Flores and Chavez arrested for assaulting a man outside of the Yard House Park. Oh, my gosh. Claiming that a bald man wearing a camo shirt assaulted another man. He was left unconscious.
So what are boxing scams?
I mean, as far as this thing goes, this dude's
Rigging a match?
this dude's part of Jake Paul's crew. Like, it's very likely somebody could have been messing with any of them, and those two are like, well, we got to stay in the group somehow. That's probably their thing, is fucking watching their back, you know. And Rip's the type to stand up for somebody. I don't necessarily.
Yeah, that hat.
That hat. When I see injustice happen, no charges filed. I mean, I don't even know. Beat the shit out of that guy. He could have just been fucking with them. Anyways. I mean, it's so funny that, like, having a past is, like, your crime for now.
Yeah, in a courtroom, it's rare that those things will get brought up because it could prejudice the jury.
Yeah. So what was your question?
I don't know.
All right. Well, Joey cleared up a lot of this stuff. So Julie came on, talked about the hand. We talked about that. Nick came on and discussed their night. Fucking Rip came on, and I thought that they all did a decent job. I think one of the biggest things to take away from this time is that and Beans came on. Maybe we can watch some of that. But let's listen to Nick Vertucci talk real fast with this shit video, and then we'll watch some of those.
I guess if you're asking what my question was, are these all the... Am I up to date now?
Yeah, this is it. And then this is the newest thing. Oh, Robbi said she was going to press
if you are
charges.
faint
At
of
first
heart
she wasn't,
or easily
then she
offended,
was.
this show is not for you.
Yeah, I mean...
All right, this is the Nick Vertucci Show. I am Nick Vertucci.
Huh?
That's a good way to establish your innocence, because if you guys are getting the law involved, like, at a certain point, if you keep going with this, even if you don't want to anymore, they might still keep going with it, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, they said there's nothing they can do beyond that, but I think one of the big things was, from a legal perspective, she almost has to prosecute, or else she, implicates herself as possibly being in collusion with this guy. If she doesn't.
But you shouldn't have to file a lawsuit or press charges just to prove your innocence.
I agree.
Maybe in the public opinion.
I agree, but at the same time, it's a bad look. They can always drop the charges, right?
Yeah. Is she
But you have to do that until this investigation's over.
Is she pressing charges for defamation?
This is Veronica Brill. Today's show will be about the Garrett and Robbi situation. A lot of you asked
anything, and one of the
Yeah.
Okay.
This is some dumb
one of the things I needed to
Alright, I can't. I didn't know I was going to watch the fucking Nick Vertucci show. I never would have clicked on it.
Why did she change her mind about pressing charges? Was it all
First-
that shit after?
First, she
things
wasn't
that
going to
after?
do it, but no, I mean, she wasn't going to do it. She asked him to come on the show. I think there was a theory Tom Dwan's trying to say maybe she squeezed him out and pressed charges so he wouldn't go on the show and talk. But I think really she just pressed charges because it was like, look, you gotta press charges because it looks like you're
she's wishy-washy.
you're doing this. Oh yeah, so let's go with the next. So we'll watch some of these interviews and see how things got cleared up. But as far as the players go, Jacob Chavez, aka Rip, personality, easy rider. Guy wears his emotions on his bucket hat. Would rather smile at all costs. I do believe these are parts of his personality. Ironically, non-confrontational. I don't think he is. I think he'd rather
Have a good time.
I think he'd rather have somebody say something like a veiled verbal assault and him ignore it and act like it didn't happen than get in an argument with somebody. He'd rather try and defuse it, which is actually really shocking about that fight, right? But he's a great sidekick, right? I do think he has a number 2 personality. If Robbi and him were working together, Robbi would be Pinky, or Robbi would be the brain and he would be Pinky. So and that does work for them too. One thing to note, he's like 40, hanging out with 20-year-olds, 20-somethings with those Jake Paul kids. It's just something to note. It could be because he wants to have a good time. I mean, however old they are, you know, if you like fighting, they're into fighting. This guy gets to be on the most televised fight crew ever. So, more niggas know these niggas than Floyd Mayweather's dudes. So yeah, I think he enjoys the spotlights. You recall him smiling on that interview, where he's just like, wow, it was crazy. He was like, I was so upset. It was awesome. So yeah. So friendly it's disingenuous. It seems like he calls a lot of people bro even when he first meets them. I just can't trust that, you know, but there are people that just want to be friendly. And if you got enough money, why do I even want problems? But yeah, it's so friendly, it's just tough to trust without meeting him. You can meet him and be a good friend, but you just can't trust that. Serial entrepreneur, that is vague as fuck. He could be Robbi's accomplice in this. He's not a pro player. Something to know. And I don't think it's unusual for fucking somebody with a bunch of money to enter into a bunch of $400 tournaments. It's like, dude, if you don't have a bunch of money, are you in $400 tournaments? Like, where's your buy-in at if you're an amateur? What do you have that you could spend $400 on every day for an extended period of time, and you're you're just fine with wasting it or not? How much money do you gotta have to spend $400 a day blowing that shit on something that's just like my meh?
And that kind of person doesn't typically need to scheme to make money.
Yeah.
Got it another way.
I mean, it sounds like you got money if you're not good playing tournaments. But whatever. Kid's gone kid. Let's see what else we got going on. Only proven false, tough to read. Just can't trust them, like I said. But you doesn't mean you can't want to trust them, but that nigga, you just gotta meet him, plays loose. Hands in a lot of projects. He's doing a lot of things entrepreneurially. Quote unquote. Serial entrepreneur is, it's just a tough spot to be in. You're either already have hit big or you have not. Like, so I don't know what to say about that. You know, it's a very polarizing job title, but the whole thing is so improbable. You know, both of them are just as unlikely almost. And then Nick Airball, who was indicted in the Garrett article. Nick Airball, aka Rascal Fats. Rascal Fats. Personality type, the 8th grader. He seems to have the mentality of mom's not home. He's immature, he's obnoxious, but he is too obnoxious for said obnoxism to be genuine. I can't believe if you are this much of an instigator in person or with a group of people that you're actually this much of an instigator in your own life, or that's who you are as a person. It seems more likely to be a character, and he could just have a I'm busting your balls type of humor. I think he's passive aggressive. I think he masks his frustrations in jokes or busting your balls, but I do think it is kind of his way of telling people what he actually thinks about them. Silver spoon, highly likely. Would you? Oh, and would probably say boobies if you were sitting next to him. Boobies. So, that is something. Focus. A bankroll as big as his belly. Nick Airball brings a lot of money into the casino, and so it's very normal for him to stake other players and games to give them money to play because he's got a lot of it. So Garrett brought up that Rip had 175,000 that he got from Nick, but you know he got it from Nick and he also gave it back to Nick same day. And Nick's been known to give a lot of people money. So what are you gonna do? I think he both hates Garrett and does not hate Garrett. He might hate the idea of Garrett more than he actually hates Garrett, which is a guy that's so big that he's untouchable.
Question. Real quick.
All right.
I said earlier, isn't it common for people to give other people money so they can play? And you were like, no, that's just not done. But then you were just talking about him giving people money to play.
Well, I thought in the context that you brought it up, it was if somebody loses money at the table, you can just give them some money.
So they can keep playing?
Yeah, but
Does that not happen?
it kind of depends on. To me, I took it as somebody has $50,000, they lose $40,000, and then somebody gives them 15, and
Sure.
B's like, "Here, you can use this." Technically, that is, but it's more of a. Nick doesn't necessarily use contracts, but that's more of a contractual thing, where you kind of agree to it ahead of the time.
Okay.
Where it's like, I'm gonna put money up for you to do this, rather than necessarily loaning somebody money at the table.
And so does he gain anything from that?
From Nick,
Yeah.
Nick says if he gives people money to play in these games, then Nick gets to play in these games.
Oh, okay.
So he kind of, if he's gonna,
Buys his way in?
yeah, I mean, if he's gonna allow for 5 other people to play, if he's gonna be the person that's the reason why the game's happening, you kind of gotta let him play too.
Yeah.
So it's like that type of benefit from it. And Nick knows he's not the coolest guy. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to have a good time. Doesn't mean he can't even be a fun time. But he knows he's not the coolest guy. And I think that's because he'll always see somebody else as what they are. I think he'll always worry about somebody else's shit to the point where he could never be the shit. And Nick has accepted that about himself and has found ways around it. And that's fine. Nick says, I don't want to give up being petty. I'd rather just pay my way through it. And that's fine. Like, a lot of people deal with it different ways or become who they are different ways. And if that's something that he likes and that's his something that he understands about himself, then he's going about it the right way. So, but yeah, you can tell he's unlikable. But he plays in a lot of games, and it's like, oh, it turns out he's staking people. But yeah, you would never just say, hey, you're having a tough day, here's $5K or whatever. And I kind of thought it was more of that context of, you know, giving money back to him, and that's why he said I got it and shit like that. So that's kind of why I declined it in the moment. Just didn't want the wrong idea. Maybe I had the wrong idea.
Do people ever do that though, and like say, just give me like 10% of what you win?
Usually not. I mean, I don't know. It's just more of a rare occasion. Usually try and have your own shit covered. And who's eager to watch somebody bust for 100K and then be like, hey, well, how about I put money up for you? So if you lose it, you lose it. And if you win, I get 50%. What do you say? It's like, dude, that dude just already ran over 100,000. You don't want to necessarily do that. But it happened in the big game. I think JRB just gave, what's his name, like 200,000 in chips. And that was kind of a different scenario. I think that they all kind of know each other already, so they're all cool. They all know they're way good for it. JRB's toasted anyways, and JRB literally had $1 million in chips over there, so he's like, yeah, you can go ahead and just take 200,000. Let's just keep the game going. So that was more of a different scenario. So yeah, it does happen, but I think he hates Garrett. I think he doesn't hate Garrett. I think he is petty. I think he would like to take Garrett down one day. So there is a little bit of motive there, but I don't think that he's an enemy to Garrett. Well, he's an enemy to the personality. Is an enemy. It is a part of him, but I don't think he thinks he's an enemy to Garrett. I don't know if he's actively scheming. But it's there. Just, you never know when somebody's going to act on their deepest thoughts. But
It seems like too much work.
to actually go through with it,
Yeah, for this guy.
it could be, yeah.
If he could just pay for things to be done for him.
Yeah. I mean, but then that could be how Robbi gets on the stream.
Yeah.
You pay Brian. He's been in the back office. He pays Brian. Brian, he says, I don't want any of this getting back to me. Robbi does her shiz. And Robbi takes down Garrett. And he paid to get it done. They had a 7-hour dinner. I think one of the best questions to that is, who the fuck goes on a 7-hour dinner? I think Nick Airball, we have a rare combination of disingenuousness. Whereas Nick is so friendly that it's disingenuous. Rip is so friendly that it's disingenuous. And Robbi is so vain that those two people could be right next to her and she could be on her phone the entire time. It's a possibility. And so when you get Nick telling a story and because he wants to be a friend, and you get Rip telling a story because he wants to be a friend, and then they just start going on with each other's bullshit, and it's like Michael and Dwight in the office together, and it's like, you like this? Well, then I like that too. And that could lead to 7 hours of that, plus heavy drinking, plus, you don't think I'll do it, do you? Oh, I did it. You owe me $50,000. Ha 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 ha. So they could have easily have had that conversation of sloppy, friendly friendship. And they might not even know anything about each other and still have gone through that shit. They could be bestest of friends. I wonder, that type of personality type, do they actually befriend the same personality type? The type of person that is fakely genuine. And ha ha ha, I'm laughing too because we're laughing. Could you ha 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 and laugh too and become best friends with somebody that's been conning you the whole time? It's essentially a catfish. Both of you are catfishing each other. Could you catfish each other into a real long-lasting relationship? Or is somebody catfishing with a real motive behind it and the other person is just a chug-a-lug? So it's an interesting angle here with Nick Airball and Jacob's relationship. What do we know? Jacob called Ryan that night. And then Feldman, the producer. And then was on the stream the next day. He wasn't scheduled to be on. You could get real drunk with Nick the Whale as corroborator. Kawaba. And he gets on. You don't know how that conversation started. You dare me to call Ryan? You should be on that thing. You just don't know how the first call started at that night. And then from there, he gets on the stream. And then mission accomplished. If this was a TV show about being a con man, he would have said that. Ryan would have been like, all right, you're on the stream. And then he would have passed out on the couch smiling and been like, and they would have cut to a commercial break. And then they would resume, and, you know, then he's got to pretend like he's, you know, going to the stream, or that he doesn't want to go. So he tries to talk out of it, even though he's already in it. They've already posted the lineup. So he talks him back into it. Nick gets to see it and be, you know, what's it called when somebody backs up your story? Jesus Christ. Alibi. There we go. So Nick gets to be his alibi. And then he goes, man, I didn't even want to go, but I guess I'll go. It's like, he's like, I didn't want to go, and I tried to leave. And then he goes, but then again, it's Phil Ivey, it's Eric Person.
Yeah.
When you get a chance to play with them.
Week.
It's the same lineup. It was the same lineup the night before and that morning. So it doesn't just hit you at fucking 2 o'clock that the Michael Jordan of poker is showing up. You fuck. That shit has already been sticking with you. So it could have just been a big masquerade. I mean, I can get drunk and still have a mission to do. You got to sell the part. Meanwhile, Robbi's sober on her phone. Apparently, Robbi, like, threw her phone in his face, was like, look how much I've been playing. Robbi's just focused, yo, on her own thing. But it could have been, so Nick could have just been a pawn. I thought I had written that down. Was Nick a pawn or was he a bishop? I meant to. Or it could have been Nick behind, you know, a plan. He's like, hey, I got an inside guy. When you start talking about a scheme to become, you know, one of the more notable people in a growing aspect of society, that could turn into a 7-hour conversation. When it's like, hey, how could we do it? If we were going to cheat, if we were going to do whatever, how could we do it? That could be a conversation.
Isn't it awkward, too, if literally nothing is scheming between any of them, and they're just hanging out later, like, how do they know how long we had dinner for?
Yeah, that's why. That's odd. I mean, I guess technically, you know. Do you get, like, text messages like, I'm pulling up now. I'm totally wasted. It's like 4 p.m. And then text him like, I'm leaving. I'm totally leaving. But, yeah, you don't know. But, you know, it's a little bit too much detail. But Nick probably could have given the information. But, yeah, you could also just be 7-hour just friends. Just 7-hour friends.
Yeah, talking.
I met a girl and this guy at the bar. And we were joking around playing pool. And then she invited me to go to West Virginia with them for the day.
Wow.
I was like, damn. You know, I didn't know them. Fucking, we just met. Yeah, we're going tomorrow. So, you know, just depends on how you feel. Of course, oh yeah, not a poker pro, does play aggressive. Both hates and not hates Garrett. And then, his fault, his type of humor sucks. Like, it's just, it can be obnoxious, it can be overwhelming. It's not nearly as good as mine, is all I'm saying. But seriously, it can be difficult to deal with if that's how somebody kind of conducts themselves.
You know what kind of personality he reminds me of? Someone from a movie, like a frat guy, who's actually, like, you see in the middle of the movie has some sociopathic tendencies, like, where he drops this devastating bomb on you and lets it sit. He's like, I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah, it does, yeah. But yeah, type of humor. And then, of course, we did get a shot of Nick at the park.
What? Okay.
Anyways, let's get into some of this conversation. Let's get into some of this conversation that happened. What happened was, we'll get into some of this talk. Why are we doing this? Why am I continually saying this? Because,
We were gonna look at beans.
oh yeah, we'll listen to the Beans talk and shit.
Did
And
you get interviewed about this?
alright, just let me continue.
Okay.
So yeah, and one thing we will learn is that Tom Dwan is fucking horrible at interviews. But whatever.
Is it mustache?
He's a poker player.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. Tom Dwan. Oh, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. I gotta
Right.
go with it.
And obviously that's a ridiculous detail, right? Now, I'm not saying Nick Airball is or isn't in anything or knew about anything or whatever. It's just like, come on, guys. Like, look at this hand. Anyone who had some weird shit, the right thing to do is be like, here's every last weird detail I had. The people not doing that, like, I'm very suspicious of, right?
So you're suspicious that they didn't come out with the details sooner, even though they already knew all this stuff?
Well, I'm saying people, I'm not suspicious of Ryan Feldman, of Nick, because they're saying, how do we, oh shit, right? Let's have the stream go up anyway. Something crazy happened. We don't know what happened, right? I'm not saying a healthy amount of verify after a hand like this is obviously reasonable, right? But, Garrett, he's saying, yeah, I'm not saying I did everything perfect. Here's what I think, right? The people that are like, oh, I loaned 175K, I'm going to say nothing for a week. Like, come on, right?
Right. Okay.
If somehow, for one, that's not a normal loan, right? It's just not. If somehow someone completely spazzed and then the craziest TV poker streamed hand of all time is played the next day, and it was innocent, at least be the first guy to be like, hey man, I don't know what I was thinking, right? I've come on your stream hungover. I've come on your stream overtired. Be like, oh man, I fucked up. I made a brain fart.
We are going to have Nick Airball on here. He's going to be addressing that very, very soon. So he is going to be talking to us tonight. I think we're going to have Sean Deeb on there during that as well too. So that
I'm happy to hang out for that one. I'd be curious to ask Nick Airball a little question or two of how it's normal, like, because it's funny, just, he says that's normal in the high stakes world. I feel like me or Sean or all of us know a little more about that stuff, and it's not normal. So,
well, I know he'd love to talk to you because he said I can bring on anyone to talk with him. So
I'm not so convinced that he'd love it, because the other guy also said he was coming on the stream, but supposedly he said that when, to me it looks like maybe Robbi was trying to manipulate that situation or coaching. I don't know. To me it looks like a lot of these people are in cahoots. I don't know why they're in cahoots. I don't know if there was cheating or not, but the craziest hand of all time that was played on a TV stream happens, and then these people all seem in cahoots a few days later. Like, one story seems to make a lot of sense to me, and I haven't heard another one yet,
Interesting. Okay. So basically you're saying that you heard some from Feldman, and you're saying that Feldman thought that it was cheating from the conversation that was had?
No, I'm not saying that, right? I'm saying This was like, I don't know, the day after or something, the day of. I'm saying I think Feldman didn't know what to think, right? And I think deep down, he probably understands that, but he wasn't able to process that.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I don't think Feldman was withholding details. I don't think, I think he was trying to tell me the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he didn't know how to wrap his head around it.
Right.
And as someone who has probably been around more shenanigans in poker than him, I was able to process a little faster and easier, right? And so that doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just telling you from the account I got, I believe Feldman probably told Nick Bertucci and Berkey very similar things to what he told me. But I think a few of the times he's like trying to say like, I don't know what this means. I don't, and I was like, dude, it's like, I remember I said to him, I was like, this is kind of like going to the gym, right? Like, it's not your guys' fault that you're there, or maybe you messed up some security stuff, whatever, but you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't run away from it. You got to just, face this. And he's like, I think they're trying to do that, right? I think they're trying to face it. I think they're trying to have all this stuff come out. But obviously, like, I can empathize if they have a few emotions of like, oh, fuck, they're sad. Like, this happened on their street.
Right, yeah. Guys, we just got word we're going to get one of the sources on the podcast as well. So one of the sources in this just got in touch with me. It is an amazing Hollywood producer, will be a great guest. So we're going to have this information, the money of dollars. Listen. Perfect. Okay. Touch with me as well. Get in touch with me on Twitter, on Instagram at PoppyGT. Yeah. He
might yell at you. Just give him 1,000, dude.
The kid said he got a lawyer. I don't think he's going to give 1,000.
Yeah, but let's just see what he says, right? Like, you really won't go on a stream for 1,000? Bring your lawyer on the stream, right? Let's just have the lawyer say hi.
Tom is fucking already, he's like, the guy who was gonna fucking come on, he doesn't come on, and Tom goes, just give him 1,000, see if he'll come on.
Who was the guy that was supposed to come on?
This other dude.
And is Tom white shirt?
Yeah, Tom's white shirt. And he's like, just give him 1,000. Tom will ruin anybody's life how much money to ruin your life? But he's still cheap with it too.
With you, whatever.
All right. Well, whatever. All right. Do you have anything else, Tom, to add right now?
No, but I mean, I'm happy to overhear and just not say anything when the source comes on.
Okay, perfect. Well, let me get Beans on here first, okay? So Beans was listed in the article. I want to give him a chance to defend himself. So Beans was listed here, guys. We're going to get Beans in here. Hold on a second. Where's Beans at? Dur checking in from the Singapore headquarters over there. All right, guys, hold on a second. I'm getting one more person on here, guys. Oh, I thought we were watching the game. We're basically watching this Hustler game. Hustler Casino got a great game. Doug Polk, 100, 200, 400. I mean, these guys put on high stakes. Doug Polk, Double M, Wesley, Aaron Zhang, Bill Klein, and all these things. Life is amazing. What a world. Listen, yes, sir. Tom Dawn checking in. So a new bounty has been added, guys. It started off as $215,000. We added $30,000 to the bounty as well. We got 50 from Anton Morgensen and another 50 from Anton Morgensen. Thank you, Anton. Shout out to Anton. All right, Beans is checking back in, guys. Lock in. Beans. Where's he at? Beans, are you here? Beans is on video. Beans, you out there? Oh, he's connecting to audio right now. All right, guys, Beans is going to come in here. Let's put your audio on, Beans.
Can you hear me now?
Beans, you just heard the 30K bounty, right? For more information.
No, explain that to me. I want it.
30K in a crypto wallet right now, Beans. You tell me something. Beans. What do you got, Beans? We're trying to get to the.
What do I gotta tell you? Hey, so do I get 500? What's the deal with this whole $500 I'm hearing for coming on? What's up with that?
I don't know. He's basically sending it to the. He was kind of memeing. But Beans, listen, you listen to the article. Okay. I mean, it's a pretty.
I don't know. I think you should give him 500. You get to see his face, dude. Why not?
Yeah, man.
Just do it at the end of the interview, as long as he's, chill.
Chip, I don't have any crypto, but I'll give you my Zelle. I'll give you my Cash App.
No, bro. It's a crypto. Listen, Beans. I mean, seriously, you're listing this. You're accused of cheating by Garrett. Now you're accused of being part of the ring.
So check this out. I'm not kidding you. So Coles is right behind me down there. I got the kids.
You put it on mute. You muted me.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I got Dollar Tree behind me. Coles over there. Everything I'm telling you is legit. I'm in the Bay Area, Northern California, Concord to be specific. And we're out here because my girl's, one of her old friends, we're going to a wedding tomorrow. So she's getting some last minute things and items. So where I'm getting at with this is this. If I have to go, that's because my girl's going to be coming out of the store and I don't, want the kids and you know what I mean? But when we get back to the hotel room, I have no problem coming back on. I just wanted to put that out there.
That seems reasonable. He's at least confirming a thing, right, Joey?
Right.
I'm just trying to let you know. I overheard some of the comments that Robbi, Lou, and Beans are going to some fucking wedding in Vegas and some bullshit.
Oh, you guys are going to a wedding together in Vegas? You said?
That's what one of the comments said. So no. Anyways, so let me get back to what I was saying just a little bit ago. Okay, so I was a suspect for the Bellagio poker room robbery. I watched the video, and I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I mean, the dude walked like me, like legit. Like I was watching the video, and I was like, "Fuck!" I can see why they thought that it was me. Obviously, it was not. 2 years later, maybe 2.5 years later, the same dude goes ahead and tries robbing the place again, gets shot and killed out in front of the Bellagio. I hate to say thank goodness, but thank goodness, because that kind of cleared my name in that situation. The detectives went ahead and well, before all that even happened, the detectives in Vegas wanted to interview me, and I came out to Vegas, and I was like, yeah, let's go. And I can send you the screenshots of that conversation, because when Garrett posted what he posted about I wouldn't take a lie detector test, it's on the contrary. I put down, yes, I will take the lie detector test. So, I mean, that's just one little thing, but I'm just trying to check them off as we go along. I can prove that to be, that's debunked.
Right. So you're not, so also he says you're referred to as the king scammer of Kansas City as well.
Well, I mean, I don't know nothing about king scammer of Kansas City. That's interesting. We can dive into that. a little further as well. So that's not a problem. But what's up with all these people? 1 minute they're your friends, or they think you're your friends, or acquaintances. You know, I see
Beans looks weird without that them sunglasses. I finally realized
people
what
in
I call him
passing or
Beans.
whatever.
He got a head like a bean. Pinto bean or black eyed pea. But yeah. What was I gonna say?
I want to hear the rest of this. Let me go check the card real quick.
All right.
You don't mind
I'll
pausing?
no, yeah, I'll keep it paused.
We could always just go back.
Yeah. Probably use your flashlight or something for that.
Yeah. I'll get my phone.
So yeah, Beans, about Beans, yeah, the scammer of I was gonna say about him and in front of the dollar store.
Yeah, why is he saying that?
Well, I mean, he plays on the stream, and I think we kind of think he's a celebrity, or all celebrities are rich or whatever, but he might just be a poker grinder. And as far as him, taking money goes, I mean, at least the guy's going to the dollar store. Like, he's being responsible.
Whatever, if I'm in the poker room, cash games and stuff, and they're like, "What's up, Beans?" This, that, and the third, and then all of a sudden, these same motherfuckers are in my fucking
just gonna
DM sliding some
keep it
fucking
paused.
cruel ass hate mail talking about, "You gotta leave town now. How could you do this to poker?" and blah blah blah. It's like, man, these fucking poker is cruel, man. And that's just the little time today.
Well, hang on, man.
I'm
Can't you
receiving all
understand that, like, some of the details are a little bit suspicious? Like, it seems like something here happened, and, like, I can understand people thinking you may or may not have been involved, right? So, like, if
Yeah.
someone's played poker a long time, they may be a little grumpy. They're like, come on, man, right? Like,
But wait,
Are they like, come on, man? Or are they like, you fucking piece of shit, don't ever come back to this casino? It's like a big difference. And what about this credit shit? Everybody's giving Tom Dwan credit because he's Tom Dwan. Nobody's giving Beans credit for being Beans all these years. They just throw him under the bus. Alright, I'm gonna rewind it and then play it so you don't miss anything.
wait a
you're saying
minute, man.
someone
I
sent
thought
you
you
the
said
grumpy
you was gonna
messages.
be in the backdrop and just listen to Joey ask me the questions.
Yeah,
What-
Tom.
yeah, I
what's
was
up,
assuming you weren't gonna lie.
No, I'm just
I don't
fucking with you, bro. I'm just fucking with you. I totally fuck with you. No, I totally can understand that. I get it. But here's the thing on that, and I say this 100. You should not ever go so hard on a person unless you actually have some type of factual stuff. I mean, people are mad at me partially because they think that I wouldn't take a lie detector test or something like that, or that I had somehow to do with borrowing money. Well, guess what, guys? Guess what, poker world? Yes, I am guilty of borrowing money from people in the past.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it. So what? Does that make me a terrible person? Does that make me all of a sudden some crazy suspect? I mean, and those who really know me, Joey and Tom, you guys don't really know me, but those who really know me also know that I'm known to be in the pits. I mean, 1 minute I could have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. Next minute I could be betting $5,000 fours and $5,000 tens and dust it off. That's a fact. So yes.
So let me tell you a story about me, okay? I play, you know this guy Paul Foy? He's like the main guy at Triton. A lot of people
I
know
can't
him.
hear you. Speak up. Go ahead. What'd you say?
You know this guy Paul Foy? He's
Paul
the main
who?
guy at Triton. Foy? He's
Paul?
the main guy at Triton. He's like one of the most successful gamblers in the world. And we
Yeah,
played a lot of
I don't
big
know
games.
him. I don't know him. He doesn't know me.
Okay, sure. I'm just saying we played a lot of big games, right? And sometimes we were both in the game, and people knew we're friends. And there were times some other Chinese boss would have a little piece of me, and they'd see me try to bluff Paul. And some of those times he called. Understandably, those people would give me a weird look or two. Now, the reality is most of those times he folded, because even though he's very good at poker, like, I do think I'm a little bit better, right? But sometimes when the facts look a certain way, it's understandable for people to ask a question or two, people to be a little suspicious, right? I think that if people are pouring over people's personal lives and stuff, if it's just about poker cheating and it's not going past that, I don't really support that. But for people to say, hey, was there some cheating? I mean, that seems pretty reasonable.
Look, you've been in the spotlight longer. I mean, me, I'm just a regular random nobody in the low stakes world of Hustler Casino Live. I don't even play the Friday game. My biggest one I played in was the Wednesday game, 25-50-50. So I'm not used to the love or the hate. I've been getting a lot of love up until recently. So you're kind of more desensitized and numb to how people can really
fair.
do. And I appreciate your perspective on this. But the reason why I'm talking fast and trying to clear through some of this is because I'm on a timeline here. I know the Dollar General, they close at 10. It's 9:56.
Okay, go in Dollar General. Let him come back in, Tom. Let him go in Dollar General. Let him get something for his kids.
No, I don't need to go in anywhere. Bring me back on.
Okay.
I'm waiting for her to come out. I'm waiting. Are you still with me?
Yeah, we're still with you. All
right. But what I'm saying is I'm letting you know that when she comes out, I might have to leave for just a little bit and then come back. But anyway, like I was saying, so yeah, I'm guilty of borrowing money and asking people to put me in. Hell, there was one day I asked DGF to send me money. His friend, I've asked his money to send me money. They sent it. I paid it back. So fucking what? Whip you fucking do. I mean, so that doesn't make me some kind of fucking criminal. That doesn't make me affiliated any more than Robbi. Bro, listen to this. I was the one that was trying to fucking take bragging rights that I brought Robbi to the fucking stream. Like, straight up. I was like, man, this girl is kicking ass there. Like, I'm fucking proud to be like, this wouldn't even be happening if it wasn't for me. That's a fact. It would not be happening if it wasn't for me. Then all this shit.
Okay, so let's talk about the loan with Robbi that's mentioned in here, the 20K. You're basically saying that's confirmed that you did receive 20,000.
No, once again, okay, you found out from whatever you found out on that. I don't know what your source is on.
I'm reading in here, right? This is the source. It's what Garrett wrote in the article. He says another source learns from HCL member who met Robbi for the first time that day that Beans received 20K from Robbi before the show began.
Right.
So
hey, so check this out. So I gotta go.
Okay.
I will call you back. Give me 15 minutes. I'll call you back.
All right. Let me know. Text me before, okay? All right. Cool. All right, guys. Beans checking in there. Obviously fired up. He had a little bit to say. As Beans said, right? He has borrowed money from people in the past. He's basically saying that doesn't make him a scammer. I really got to go through the article. I mean, I don't.
He was a little more candid than I expected, man.
Listen, that guy's fired up, bro. I was talking to him earlier. I was asking about what's going on here. I told him we're going to have a call later tonight, so I was chatting with him a little bit. So, all right, we're going to get the inside source here right now. Hold on a second. We're going to get the Hollywood producer. She is the one who played with Robbi at the casino here, at Bicycle Casino. So she's going to come on here and talk about her experience with Robbi. She's one of the sources listed in Garrett Adelstein.
Hands showdown.
A friend of mine told me about this hand, and I watched it, and I was like, "This is so weird. It must be RFID must be wrong. She must have missed her hand, whatever." But I definitely
Julie and Tom proceed to derail.
And then I
cover that. Yeah, I kind of. So basically, that's pretty much.
You know, it's never good to have a bad act.
Berkey chime in and say that while I was watching your last guest, I was reading some of the Twitter. My God, I even seen Berkey chime in and say that something to the effect he recollects last year or during the series or something like that, that I was trying to inquire some either cash for crypto or something the other way around as a favor for.
A lot of non-reporters reporting. Oh, okay. Page is unresponsive. So yeah, I think Bean's been doing a good job. I used to not trust Beans at all.
Why is that?
I don't know, just his face.
Garrett's like,
Every time I'd
you
see
know,
him,
he's
I'd
a
be like, that
computer. I
nigga's
watched him like short
bluffing.
circuit in real time, and
Even when he
I
had
felt
the
like,
nuts.
you know, he was like processing, and I knew everything. It just anyway. That's you guys all know. Like you have all the running for what I don't a year and a half or something, and
You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I can't see you though.
I mean, you can see
Look
Tom.
at
I'm
Beans
basically
just
on
sinking
my
into the
video. I'm
wall
on YouTube
behind
right
him.
now, so I'm live. You can't see my video.
Golly, yo, he's got
Oh, I
no
can't see anybody. I see
distinguishable
myself, but anyway.
lines on his face.
Oh, I
So-
see you.
Okay, all right. So back to while I was watching your last guest, I was reading some of the Twitter. My God, I even seen Berkey chime in and say that something to the effect he recollects last year or during the series or something like that. That I was trying to inquire some either cash for crypto or something the other way around as a favor for Jungle Man. And thank goodness Jungle Man chimed in to confirm that. I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, there's no scam. Like, that was legit me trying to do Jungle Man a favor. Just trying to connect him to whatever he needed on that. In fact, I don't even really fully recommend,
All right, Beans. Let's do some questions here real quick, Beans. So basically, right? Are you involved in this scam? Are you working together with Robbi and with Rip to have some sort of system where you're able to cheat in the hustler game?
No, and I've never even met Rip or talked to Rip. I just recently started following him on Twitter. He hasn't not even followed me back on Twitter. So I don't even know Rip.
And you said that you knew Robbi. You met her a few weeks ago on our first interview. You said you met her a few weeks ago, your first time meeting her live at the bike. Then you thought that she would be a good person to play on Hustler Casino Live. So you got in touch with DJF. You showed me those text messages. You showed me the receipt. And DJF put her in touch with Feldman. Feldman ended up getting on the show. And that's the relationship that you had with terms of getting her on the show. So you are the person who did end up getting her on the show.
Yeah, I mean, with regret, what a fucking headache. Yeah, that's what I'm guilty of, getting her on the show, meeting her. You know, what's the crime? I don't understand what's the big deal. Everybody seems to think, okay, well, because I borrowed money before in the past from people, maybe I slow paid people back, or whatever the deal is. That okay, or I was implicated in an armed robbery, which obviously I didn't do. That I'm some bad guy. That doesn't mean I'm bad for poker. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Doesn't
I mean,
mean
a lot of people are too woke, man. You know, the world's gotten too woke, so like everyone gets all up in arms. Even if these people cheated, as long as they didn't go too crazy, like I've seen some crazier shit. But you know, I don't support the witch hunt stuff, but I would just like some of this stuff to come out. I think something happened. So whether you were in on it or didn't, or whatever, you know them, you could probably give some reads.
What he has to
What do
say.
you
Yeah,
think?
no.
It's a little.
I think I applaud Hustler Casino Live, Brian Feldman and Nick Bertucci, because they were looking into this and trying to.
Well,
find
can we let's get to this question, guys. I got too many guys I got to get on. They're all messaging me. They're all crying right now. So, listen. I mean, in this article, right? So your relationship with Robbi, it just that.
Joe's in a tough spot because Tom is Tom, right? He's
That
Tom.
face says it all.
He's Tom Dwan. Which one? Yeah. He's not even. He doesn't even care. He just jumps in to interrupt, and doesn't even give a shit. But yeah, that's Tom Dwan, and fucking, he's a huge poker name, and so you just kind of gotta let him do what he's gonna do. But Tom might be sociopath. Cause Tom will just jump in, not give a fuck, jump out. Whenever somebody says like a reasonable thing, he goes, "Well, look, I don't know," and then he'll like make an assertion about how they're full of shit, and then be like, "But I don't know."
Yeah, 3 weeks. Did you guys spend other time together? Are you guys hanging out? Are you guys scheming together? Or is that really the only time you've seen her was when you got 20,000 from her, and then you saw her at the bike?
I've seen her twice ever in life.
Twice ever in life.
In life. That was the last time I played Max Payne Monday, and then the time before that was when I met her actually at the bike casino.
Okay.
Which was several weeks.
And so you're saying you're not involved in this. You're saying that when they said the nickname is the Kansas City Scammer, and they talked about a entertainment ticket scam, and they talked about, let me see the article here, right? Where's the detail? I mean, there's so much shit on this website. It's kind of hard to read in here.
Yeah, it's a bunch of baloney bullshit. Get that source on. You can't get that source on.
So there's no credit card scam. There's no sports and entertainment ticket scam, is what you're saying. No scams in Kansas City.
Fuck no.
No.
And the people that I guarantee you, the only guy that would ever say anything about something like that would be the same guy that said that I'm the one who held up the Bellagio.
Right.
It's got to be the same guy. It's got to be the same guy. I mean, I can out his name too on here because I know he's a piece of shit.
Okay, so you didn't rob the Bellagio. You're not the Kansas City Scammer, and you're basically saying.
He was going to say some names, Joey. Who's the names?
Khan Boomer Swag. Khan Boomer. Piece of shit motherfucker lowlife. Look into his record. He got put in prison for holding up an armored car truck. Yeah. That same pussy ass bitch is the same motherfucker that tried calling the fucking Las Vegas Metro Police detectives and saying that I, Garrett Adelstein, held up the fucking Bellagio. I didn't even out his fucking name. I didn't even out his name. Listen, I didn't even out his name when I was on that Todd Little's, whatever the fuck show that is, Poker Fraud Alert Radio. I don't mean that in a dishonest any way. I'm really frustrated. As you can see, you never see me like this. I'm level 10. Pissed. It's my son's second birthday. I'll be quick. I know I got to go too. It's my son's second birthday. My girl's upstairs. We're going to a wedding tomorrow. And then I hear all this shit. You called me earlier, Joey, and I told you I'm not coming on tonight to even defend all this bullshit. But all I can say is this. Garrett needs to get his fucking facts together before he puts some shit out there. I got all these motherfucking hate mailers sending me all kinds of fucking hate mail. It's like, damn, should I delete my fucking Twitter now? I mean, that would look really fucking sus, right? If I deleted my Twitter. But, you know, anyway, yeah. Really fucking knows me, knows I'm so many of these motherfuckers. Said I need to get out of town. Like, fuck, I'm not going anywhere. I live in fucking Summerlin, Las Vegas. Like, you'll see me in the fucking poker room when I get back into town. I'll be grinding out the $400, $600 dailies or whatever the fuck's that Venetian, playing whatever fucking game I can get into. Come say hi to me. I'm a nice guy.
I gotta get
Those
off.
of you,
It's my
you know,
son's
who do
second birthday.
know who I am. Much
He does
love
that
to you.
like
Shout out
20
to all
more
of you.
times.
But I mean, I'm gonna have my haters too. Tom, you have your haters. Joey, you probably don't have any haters because everybody loves you.
No. I know. I got a lot. No. They're out there, quiet. They're just sitting there. They're sitting there waiting for a reason. So don't worry. They're out there. They're everybody got them.
Joey and I were each other's haters, man.
Huh?
You know? We were each other's haters 5 years ago. Come on.
Oh yeah.
But hey, look. Right, but I can get back on in the future if there are any more allegations or like that. That makes any sense. I
just got one really quick question for like 1 minute. If you mind, 30 seconds.
Sure.
I'm not saying you were in on anything. I'm not saying whatever. I do really respect that you're on here. You obviously knew these people a little. To me, I would say maybe just if you have a minute, you know, take a shower or go for a walk, whatever. Think about it for a moment. If you happen to have some details, like even if you weren't in on it, even if whatever, you know, I think there's a decent chance that's true. But Joey's got 30K sitting there. There's other people that got more for people, you know, people that got more info. I don't know if Herolibus needs to be someone that was in on it or not or whatever. I don't know. But like, would you at least have a think for a minute? Maybe you think of some detail that's interesting.
So he's bringing up other people put bounties up like 200,000. Joey put up 10, and somebody else might have put up 20. But anyways, it was for answers that would like blow this thing wide open. Beans comes up here, misses his kid's birthday, tells them everything they want, says he's got to go for 2 hours, and then this nigga jumps in and he goes, "Hey, I know you said that you're done, so why don't you just take a shower, think about it, think about some stuff, and if you think about anything, come and tell us." And he goes, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Well, there's 30K out here. Joey's got 30K for somebody who's got answers." And he's like, you know, Herolibus got, 200. I don't know what they're giving it out for, but
Is this guy the police?
just think about it. It is the same shit. I remember a cop pulled me over. They said I had weed in the car, and I did. But said I had weed in the car. I smoked it all right before they got in. And the guy goes, they pull me over and they're like, "It smells like weed. Get out!" And they searching it, and the guy goes, "Hey man," after they've been searching for like 20 minutes, he goes, "Hey man, if you got any weed in your car, you can just tell us, and then we can be over with this." And I go, "Oh yeah, that's it. All I gotta do is tell you." And he goes, "Yeah man, just tell us." I go, "I don't have any weed in the car." He goes, "Okay, well." It's like, what the fuck? What do you think? I just sat through that search for 20 minutes just to break down with you?
Sir, if you want to, you could obey our orders.
Yeah, and just go to jail. And I guess the funny part is, I did have weed in the car. They just couldn't find it. But still, it's like, come on, Tom. So he's like, I got nothing. He's like,
Listen,
all right, but
if you had $1 million on the
and
table
then he
offered
goes, and then somebody might pay you. It's like, what are you doing,
me
Tom?
right now, actually 100% legit about it, I would love to try to get that $1 million. I just don't have an answer.
It is, but
I'm
it's like,
just as mystified about this as you guys, and that's the straight. Actually 100% legit about it. I would love to try to get that $1 million. I just don't have an answer. Like, I'm just as mystified about this as you guys, and that's the straight up truth. And you're gonna find that out.
Like a poker. No, my point is, like a poker hand. Sometimes sometimes someone goes all in on the river. I don't know shit. But if I think about it long enough, I'm like, oh shit, here was this one detail, and I can think of something. So I'm more saying, would you just at some point think for a few minutes? That's all. No pressure, no whatever,
What was the question? What was the
not on stream when you're off, later tonight, tomorrow, would you just give it a 5-minute thought just in case you got a detail and it's like, oh shit, I could get some or all that Joey bounty.
Look at Joey's face. He's like, is this really happening?
A detail of what? I'm not following you.
I mean, I don't know exactly what Herolibus and Perkins' bounty is. I think it's the whole scoop or whatever. I don't know. I think Joey's was anything.
It's a
shows
whole
there was
scoop.
Cheating. I don't know. There's a lot of details there. Would you just give it a few minutes and think? Because to me, I think there's likely to be a rush for the exits, right? I think there was some group doing some shit. I don't know exactly what. I find it unlikely that the craziest hand I've ever seen on TV poker happened the same day that some dude stole 15K. I think some shenanigans are going on. I don't know what. I would like someone to.
It appears so, and if I were to say that no, it's all coincidence. I mean, everybody's just looking at me like I'm crazy or I'm in on something. So I mean, honestly.
And I'm saying I respect that. You're saying it appears so. That's pretty strong. So I'm just saying, off stream, think about it for 5 minutes. Not saying you're in on it. Not saying
Ron is rambling.
Nothing to think about. Like it's 100% a fact. I got her on the show. That happened. It shocked me just like it shocked everybody else. I just found out about the Brian thing yesterday.
Right, but I'm saying the communication, the thoughts of how she got around it, right, how she got on the show. There's probably if you actually thought about it a few minutes, there might be an interesting detail. That's my only point, I'm not saying.
Now Tom's saying. Now Tom's saying, if you have any details about how she got on the show, then you could get money. And he's like,
didn't we just talk about this?
Yeah.
Let me say a few questions from the chat, Tom. So Tom,
Jesus, Tom.
Deal Bellitz wants to know, Joey, ask him why he gave Robbi 20K, or ask him why Robbi gave him 20K. A lot of people just got questions about the money, right? That's what they want to know more about. They want to know why it's 20K, why is someone giving you 20K? If you just met them 3 weeks ago, why would they have a relationship with you that they would feel comfortable giving you $20,000 loan when you met him at the bike on the floor and you only met him twice? Why would they do that? You there, Beans?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you there?
You weren't
okay,
saying
yeah,
anything.
I think my Bluetooth batteries went out, but there's nobody around. But anyway, so I didn't hear the last probably 20 seconds of what was going on.
Yeah, basically people just in chat, everybody in the chat want to know, why did Robbi give him
me 20K? I honestly think that it probably had to do with the fact that I was able to get her on. Everybody who's ever loaned me any amount of money has always seen me pay it back.
Mm-hmm. Or if you only saw her twice, or if you only knew her for a couple weeks, why would you give you 20K?
She didn't just give me 20K. She loaned me 20K. I honestly think that it probably had to do with the fact that I was able to get her on. Everybody who's ever loaned me any amount of money has always seen me pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm one of the guys that I can walk around with my head held high. I don't have to worry about somebody coming and tapping on my shoulder in the middle of a tournament or a cash game. Like, I'm not Gene Gasper. I'm not fucking Prince. Like, I'm not Chino Reem. Like, I don't have to fucking worry about shit like that. I pay fucking people back. I'm an honor, you know, I'm a man of honor, and that's how I carry myself. So she probably recognized.
There's some stuff in here if you're interested.
It's weird how I've gotten used to blunts with filters in them now. But I don't have to burn my lip at the end. So what the fuck, yo?
Recognize that shit, and she loaned me fucking.
Nigga.
And you know, she loaned me $20,000. You know, it is what it fucking is.
Mm-hmm.
His own personal fucking.
Okay, you paid the money back, I guess. I'm assuming.
What?
Look, we don't even got to go into all that.
Sure,
I mean,
that's fine. Yeah.
No, I haven't paid the whole $20,000 back. No,
Okay.
I haven't. But I mean, I knew that's where we're going with this.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? We got like 9,000-10,000 viewers, or whatever the deal is. But
I'm just asking some questions. Chat's asking me, right?
I'm honest.
Right.
Listen, I'm probably the only honest motherfucker on your fucking stream. Listen here.
Probably.
Like, no, I didn't. You know what I mean?
Right. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
There's a mutually beneficial
Listen,
solution.
Joey, I'm transparent. I'm transparent.
Right.
But there's a mutually beneficial solution here. Whatever the amount missed is, what if Joey pays that in exchange for the details of how she got on stream? That's good for Robbi.
This is where you're transparent. I'm transparent.
Right.
But there's a mutually beneficial solution here. Whatever the amount missed is, what if Joey pays that in exchange for the details of how she got on stream? That's good for Robbi.
This is where you're going wrong, man. You must be reading the wrong. I don't know what you're trying to do. I mean, I know what you're trying to do. I don't have any information.
The difference on the $20,000.
No, I'm just saying how she got on stream.
If
I'm
you
saying if she didn't,
explain how she got on stream,
that's great, right?
what she's already done.
Hold on. What's Colin? Go ahead. What was that?
The fuck? You can't reason with that.
No, you cannot, yeah. And it's like, dude, we already know how she got on stream. And he's putting other people's money up.
Is he like...
Jesus, this thing keeps fucking...
I was saying if she didn't tweet how she got on stream is that should help clear her name, right? So what's the problem? And if she's getting money from someone and that person's getting money, like what's the problem? Just clearing up how she got on stream, what's the problem?
Okay, my girl was literally calling when you said that, so it broke up half the time. Repeat the question one more time.
What I'm saying is if you, let's say you owe her 5K of it, 10K of it, whatever it is, right? There's probably a spot there where you could negotiate with Joey, be like, okay, you know,
probably
when she got on this stream, how did it happen? Then she gets her money, right? That's good for Robbi. If she did nothing wrong, it's also good for clearing her name. And for you, it's good. All you're doing is explaining how someone got on stream.
Good for clearing her name, right?
Anything wrong? You're saying, hey, this crazy hand happened. Fair enough. You're going to explain how she got on stream. Mutually beneficial. What's the problem?
There's no problem.
Yeah, so there we go. We got some thoughts, right?
No, you said how did she get on stream? I called up DJF and got her on stream. I mean, maybe I'm not understanding or following the question.
Called up DJF or what?
Yeah, I called DJF and got her on the stream.
Earlier, yeah.
Right, we already knew about that, Tom. Yeah. Yeah, we already said. Like,
so hold on, wait a minute. So can I have some money now or what? What's the deal? What are you trying to say, Tom? I mean, I just told you how she got on the stream. I got her on the stream.
Yeah, I'm saying I think we should just think that through. It's Joey's the one holding it, not me.
Think that through.
And be like, what details are there?
You just tried to pass over to Joey.
There's probably a mutually beneficial spot.
I have the text messages. You can ask DGAF that I called and got her on the stream, and he probably contacted Ryan Feldman from what I overheard.
Sounds like
and she got on. Like there's no other details to it. Not understanding.
What about when she was talking to you and stuff around it?
When she was talking to me.
Yeah, like is that all public? What's happened there?
What do you mean?
Yeah, everything's
mutually
public.
beneficial.
Yeah.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah, there's no secret. There's no secret about that.
Somebody said bye, Dwan.
She didn't call me to get on the stream. I contacted her and told her on a couple different occasions, hey,
they paid money to say that.
Great.
Yeah.
And she says, well, I don't know. I'm not really, you know, I've never gave it any consideration. Do you really think so? I said, yeah, absolutely. I talked her into getting on the stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen the text messages for through DGF and that being's communicated.
But Tom's always like, I'm always ahead of this. I'm always ahead of the story.
How much?
I know information y'all don't know.
I said, how much does he want? He's got to negotiate with you. What do you want?
Yeah, how much you want?
I take 50,000 big ones. Nah, I'm just kidding. Look, man, I'm just playing along here. But no, I you know, if you want to give me some money, sure, great.
And then
but
Beans
you know,
backs
being
out of it. But
sarcastic,
it's like,
obviously,
dude,
to
you
talk
owe me
about the
money.
money aspect right now. But
Like,
there's no secret. That's why I wasn't following your question.
In those games, I loan money all the time. Like the Friday
this
that
nigga giving his fucking
that's mentioned the day after. That's
this nigga nervous. Fucking computer keeps stalling up. Get rid of this picture of Jacob. Alright, YouTube.
times probably not smart to do, but nonetheless that is true. As I said in the post, we run like a lot of by we I mean just me, and then sometimes other players will try to help, but I run like off-stream games with the Hustler about once a week. We usually play anywhere from 2550 up to 1248 or something, you know, really big off-stream again.
This nigga says
In those games, I loan money all the time.
Bala,
Like the Friday that's mentioned the day after that stream, we had a game where I loaned 100K to a player in the game and 50K to a player who's playing on the stream who busted. So that day I loaned out 150 alone. This can all be verified by players in the game and be verified by Ryan, as he knows pretty much all the numbers I loan. In terms of like my relationship with Jacob and Robbi, I met them the first time I played, which was, I think I said 9/21. It was like a week before this incident on a Wednesday. I usually play on Wednesdays. The game's 25, 50, 100. Befriended Jacob at the table, just talking about like MMA and boxing, because that's like my biggest passion in terms of like sports. And like when I found out he like manages / works with Jake Paul, and Jake Paul's fighting Anderson Silva, who obviously like is like one of the goats of MMA. I was very excited. He offered me tickets to the fight, which of course I accepted. After the game, he busted early, and he was like, "Let's get my phone number or something right now."
I agree. This is business. I'm running over the numbers.
Yeah, it's not natural.
You all already know. I wonder if he's reading this.
Yes, it sounds like he's written a statement out. Because it almost sounds like, it reminds me of a presentation where people are like, obviously I don't want to bore you with the stats, you know, they're just trying to get to their point.
Yeah, but here's a couple of them.
At the table, but we don't have our phones, so I was like, Ryan will connect us. So after the game, I had Ryan connect us, and we kind of chatted a little bit afterwards. I also got Robbi's number, as I felt like they were both good for the game and would be great to have in more off-stream games. So that's kind of how I started like having their numbers and getting in contact with them. Then I offered to take them to dinner. I invited them to the game on 9:30, which was the day after the incident, which we were having a 51-2 game. We went to dinner on Wednesday. I have all the texts. I'm happy to share them with anyone, showing us setting it up, showing me like all my texts with both of them, and in like a group chat, I can show all the texts from the beginning. We went to Javier's. We were planning to go there at 4:30. We ended up getting there like 5. It was me, Jacob, and Robbi. We sat at the bar, the left side. Jacob ordered like food for all of us, and we had margaritas the entire night. I don't remember how much Robbi drank, but me and Jacob drank a lot. Jacob in particular, maybe around midnight, they were finally like throwing us out, so we left. Robbi and me were telling Jacob like he can't drive because he can barely walk. Not that I should have been driving either, but nonetheless.
While Nick,
eventually she gets pissed and just says fuck it.
While Nick, Airball, and Rip become butt buddies, she just sits there, and that's gotta be. I know for a fact from Nick's end, they gotta be some of the shittiest stories. I think he might have gotten into stuff, but I feel like they're all paper stories. Like they're all fucking, I don't know. I feel like you couldn't trust any of them, and how could you really enjoy all of them? You'd have to get tired, like, oh gosh, another adventure, Nick. Yeah. You know, or
just surface level shit.
You think Robbi's fucking sitting there for 7 hours?
Small talking.
Yeah. They have to bond over something. Yeah. I think their only bond is kind of maybe shaking things up at the Hustler Casino Live game. That seems like the only thing that they could bond about. I think that's on Robbi's initiative, and I think it's also with Nick's MO as well. Shaking shit up at Hustler Casino Live. The amount of times that somebody probably heard, man, fuck those guys. I think it had to have been a lot. I don't know if any of it is actionable, but I'm wondering what the fuck would Robbi wouldn't even listen to the person next to her who was literally in the same position she was in. Like when Julie was at the table, wouldn't even listen to her. And she's gonna listen to Nick airball for fucking 7 hours?
That's a little strange.
And leaves, and so I tell Jacob I'm gonna call him an Uber. He says no. I tell him I'll drive him home in my car. He says no. He doesn't want to leave his car there because we have like a Rolls Royce or whatever. So finally we agree that I'll drive him home, drop him off,
Rolls Royce or whatever,
and then pick him up in the morning. He says no. I tell him I'll drive him home in my car. He says no. He doesn't want to leave his car there because we have like a Rolls Royce or whatever. So finally we agree that I'll drive him home, drop him off,
he drives,
and then pick him up in the morning. So drive him home, drop him off, go home with his car. Next day, pick him up. And before he left, he called Ryan, very drunk. Ryan can verify this as well.
So he drives Rip's car to Rip's house,
like,
and then drives Rip's car to his own house,
day, the Jack 4
and
game.
then comes back with
Ryan
Rip's
can
car
verify this.
to Rip's
Feldman,
house.
that is. The next day, I get to
You
his
don't know
house,
what
maybe
kind of
around
car
10,
you're in?
like knock on the door, like tough to wake him up, but he comes down. It's a nice house, as
If
you
it's
can
a
imagine, or
Rolls?
maybe not, but it's a very nice house, whatever. Seems like he has a lot of money. Hang out there for maybe 30 minutes or so while he's getting ready to go, and he's like freaking out.
Rolls Royce or whatever. That's weird.
He could just be saying that because that's how he talks, though. You know, to like basically de-enunciate what he's been saying, kind of like undermining what he's saying himself.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Rolls Royce or whatever. Just kind of weird. Somebody says, so I drove drunk. Yes,
Because he was like, he didn't realize he was playing in the game until he like saw like Ryan had tweeted the lineup with him in it. So then he was all stressed about like getting funds there or whatever. And so he didn't ask me. I offered him chips. I said, he said that he they needed 250,000 total for Robbi and 100,000 for him. He said that he had about 100,000 there and she had about 70. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll loan you guys 175 and I'll see you tomorrow and I'll pick up the money then, or you can wire it to me. Not my smartest move, obviously, but nonetheless, that's what happened. So then we jump into Jacob's car.
And you spend 7
me
hours
back
with
to
somebody, you're
Javier so I
gonna
can
do
grab
that.
my car. We then caravan to Hustler, get there maybe like 11:30 or something. I can't remember, maybe 12. I was extremely hungover, as you can imagine. When we get there, go to the cage. First, Robbi pulls out all the chips from her player's bank. I think she has like 75,000-ish.
Come on, Nick.
75K after hearing about this hand, so honest answer. Anyways, continuing. So I obviously am not feeling great about my decision to loan them 175K after hearing about this hand, so I race over to Hustler and just decide to like wait until the stream ends and try to collect. So the day before, since we had done
look at Haralabob's face.
Earlier that day, since we had done the
He's trying
chips
not to
in the
smile.
VIP room, I assumed they would go back there. So right outside the VIP area, there's like a bunch of tables. So I just like sat down there and was just chilling, waiting
My computer
for
cannot handle this fucking
one of them to walk over with chips. During that time, like some guy walked in. You could just tell he was like looking for the stream. Like you could just tell there was so much chaos that day at the Hustler. So and he kind of saw me and like I think maybe I don't know. He maybe like just thought like. You could ask me or something, but he just like came up to me and was like, do you know where the stream is and what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I play on the stream. Like, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm here for Robbia. And I was like, I don't know who that is. He's like, Robbi. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's that way. Like, and I kind of gave him direction to the stream. And then I was just sitting there chilling. And then eventually, maybe like 10, 15 minutes later, Jacob comes by with like a ton of chips in the rack. And when he sees me, he's, nice, happy, whatever. Still like
I guess
upset
there's
about
no
the situation,
link,
but like
so it's
friendly
fine.
to me. Immediately gives me back the
Appreciate that
175K. We then go
69
into the
megas.
VIP room where he cashes out all the rest of his
Simply spam.
chips. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is when we were in the room in the beginning and I was getting chips out for them that morning or early afternoon, Jacob asked the cashier lady. He says, I sent a wire. It hasn't come yet, and she like
wow.
Jacob asked the.
He takes a sip of water before this.
He asked the cashier lady. He says, I sent a wire. It hasn't come yet, and she like looks for a little bit and says no, and he's kind of like making some comment about how it's like super annoying that it's not there yet because he's wired before, whatever. Then so I get my money back. He cashes out all of his cash. He's like, I'm never fucking playing here again. He's like all steamed up from what happened. I deposit my chips, and then that night I go out to dinner with Andy for the show. Andy Stacks, which cash. He's like, I'm never fucking playing here again. He's like all steamed up from what happened. I deposit my chips, and then that night I go out to dinner with Andy from the show, Andy Stacks, which we are very good friends, and that was it. And then the following days, it just everything started blowing up. I told Ryan about everything, and all of that whole thing right away, so he had all the information. And then today I saw some stuff, just tweets about, and I was talking to Ryan. He kind of said like, let's just let it be for now. We're doing an investigation, whatever. Then I saw some tweets about like, oh, there was sketchy business with lending money or whatever, and so I texted Ryan this morning. I said, I saw these tweets. Do you mind if I put out something? And he said, yes, just give out facts. So I put out the statement, trying to lay out all the facts.
Believe everything you're saying,
He looks like he's got.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Like a fake nose and fake glasses on.
I believe everything you're saying. I just have one question for you, quick. Then we'll get into the more details of your situation. Sure. Do you believe they cheated, or what percentage do you think? Like what are you doing right now?
Okay, so the day after it happened, I was 99.9% no. And like anyone who asked me, I said no way. Like I think that she's just not very smart and like spaz in a spot that makes no sense and whatever. A week later, I felt like it was pretty likely they did cheat. Then I kind of flipped back and forth, and then after
she
this whole
does
thing
go
came
back
out
and
with Ryan,
forth between the two, though.
I'm starting to feel like if I had to bet on a side, I would bet on cheating. I still like consider Jacob like a friend, maybe. I don't know. Like I just don't know. Like, personally, I feel like I don't know if I was getting scammed here based on what I read. Like I don't know. Maybe like if they lost, like I was just fucked out of 175. Like I have no clue. But at this point, like if I had to say yes or no to cheating, I would say probably yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. I think one way to check if you're going to get scammed, I don't know if Ryan's allowed to go to the case. Definitely be a way to confirm, and
So I didn't know he was fully backing her when we were at Javier's, but I
discussed the deal. Like, is it a mix?
So after Robbi got her chips, she left, and Jacob was like still like wrapping up to leave. He was very appreciative that I helped him out, and so he told me, he's like, I want to give you like a 15% free roll from like my net profit from like my part of Robbi and myself. Okay? And I told him no. And I have that in text as well, where he offered me that and everything. And after the stream as well, he said, oh, I owe you 15% of what we made. And I said, no, thank you. And I did not accept any money. And that's, you can look at cameras. I never took $1 from him. Because I just is not my style. Like, I'm not interested in.
I think this, like, I had suspicions and other people did. And I think the way you're answering what you're saying, turning down the 15%, you're sharp enough, you've been around gambling enough to know that if you took a piece of that, it's going to make you look complicit. And that when you turn down that 15% the first day, I was with them later. But if you
gave 100 because like to me the Hustler is like my poker family. Interesting. I want to battle with him. I want to play deep. I want to play huge. He knows that. He knows I consider to be my poker home. And that's part of the reason I was so fired up to come on here with Joey's, because like to me the Hustler is like my poker family, and like that's my poker home. And like, was I drunk the night before talking shit about Garrett and having fun? Yes, but like it's just for the lulz. Like it's just like let's have some fun. Like let's make the stream interesting. Like let's have rivalries. Like it's just for fun. Like Ryan knows that. He knows I'm just like messing around. I don't actually have any hate towards Garrett. Like, do I want to like destroy Garrett in the hands if I can? Fuck yeah. Like I want to battle with him. I want to play deep. I want to play huge. Like I want to try to like felt him for big numbers. Like,
so have you met Heraldus?
No.
He likes to play huge.
Let's play. Come to the Hustler. We can play whenever you want. I want to play as big as possible, always, and deep, and like.
So what are your theories? Because these two people who don't know anyone on the stream, how could they have gotten access if Brian was the culprit? If they were cheating, like that's the thing that's so sketchy to me is all these people who seem to be the connections to the stream. Both you and Beans, I feel confident aren't involved at this point from the way you guys are acting, the way you're representing it. So I'm wondering, how the hell, like, it's so difficult for me to figure out a logical explanation to how their connection to Brian was. But there was one thing that Robbi said that made me, was one of my theories. She said, I don't even know that guy, who that Filipino is. I don't even know his name. How does she know his nationality and what race he is if she's never met him before?
Yeah, I don't know anything about, like, I can't really speak to that. And I don't, what I would, as I said, never cheat. And you, anyways, assuming if he has 50%, there's just
video today where he kind of talked about how he moved his desk.
Sure, yeah. I've been in the production room many times. I come early and hang out with Ryan up there. Like, yeah, like I understand. In terms of like,
yeah, he goes in the production room.
oh, one more thing I want to say about the cheating thing. So just in terms of like, my number one goal in here is just to like clear my name and like tell the truth to the best of my extent.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I want to say is like anyone can review footage of me playing and see me doing. I've raised for value in spots where my opponents had better hands on the. Here's I just want to clear my name that
you don't have to answer. So how are you in the position where you're like the lender of last resort and hustler?
I'm owed 50K.
So you're obviously
money, but like it just kind of happened. And
It's not Beans, right?
No, it's a reg. Beans not a reg, in my opinion.
So you're winning in the game, obviously, and you're just trying to keep the games going.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, I mean, you get it, Bob. Like, it's not like, I mean, Sean, you get it. Like, it's not like black and white. Like, you don't just get to, like, show, like, I'm not saying this to, like, start you with Garrett, but not everyone's Garrett that just gets to show up and play in really good games. Like, you have to do other things to get into good games, right? And part of that's helping the games go. And, like, part of helping the games go is when really wealthy people show up and they don't necessarily have a ton of cash. Like, they want a loan. I loan. Like, I've loaned Julie Yorn, who's on the show. Every time she comes, and she'll like, ask me, like, even yesterday, she asked me, she's like, hey, Nick, if I need to switch chips, or like I need a loan, can you help me? And I told her no, actually, because I was like, I'm short on chips. Without asking, and like, I'm just too trusting, and I know it's not like.
Gave me a lot of advice on loaning. To learn your lesson, like.
Yeah, but he's almost required to loan to make sure that he's like a part of the furniture.
No, it's not true. I'm not necessarily required to loan, but like I also just like
helps you.
Yeah, like it definitely wins like favor. Like I mean, like it's the truth. I mean, it definitely wins favors, and like if you're
a game, if you're like loaning half the table money, right? I mean,
exactly. I mean, like, and I was like, sure, I didn't ask for $1 million because I'm getting stiff. Fucking cheater anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record, like. I personally, like, it may come across like I have some major hate towards Garrett, but it's not really like that. It's just like for fun for the show. Like it's to me, it's not interesting unless there's like villains and there's excitement and entertainment and like, like that's part of the fun. And like,
he seems like
so that's a big part of it. But more than anything, like I just want to compete. Like I'm happy to play with anyone. Like Ryan. I'm always last to quit the game post stream.
I mean, basically, obviously, right, he referenced a lot of the interview, or I was doing a Twitch stream, and you called in, and obviously you were drinking a little bit, you were fired up, you were talking a lot of shit, you're trying to get a big match. I mean, you're, definitely trying to get in the mix, but I guess why do you think Garrett included you in here? Yeah, I know, but why do you think Garrett included you in here? Because
Oh, I mean, it's known that Garrett doesn't like me. He doesn't want other winning players in the game. Like, that's known. Like, it's not, I mean, trying to keep me out of games. I'm like, do I think it's a little gross and a little bit soft? Yeah. Are doing shit. Like, come on. Everyone straddles? Yeah. Like, I think that's a little gross. Like,
this guy
you have a real job outside of poker?
This guy doesn't straddle in these games? That's bananas.
Yeah, exactly, Bob. Like, yesterday, Doug put the 800 on, the 1600 on multiple times, didn't ask anyone. Garrett will never put a straddle on unless everyone does it. Never. Not even, if we're playing 25-50, he won't put 100 on unless everyone does it. Go watch the Wednesday stream. I put the $200 straddle on, whatever. But, like,
living outside of poker as well, as your poker like your primary source?
No, I have a job in banking.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Your investment banking, I think you maybe told me that.
On the streams
Yep.
every day.
Sounds like fun. I feel like you kind of really addressed a lot of what
there, and like I felt like there was any like your character, your integrity, your name. I just personally like. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe people don't feel like I was involved or whatever. But like the fact that my name was out there and like I felt like there was any like not like any lack of clarity was a problem to me. And like I mean like as I'm sure Sean and Joey and Bob can all say, like in the gambling world, like your character, your integrity, your name is everything. Like if people think even 1% that you're a cheater or like a scammer or anything, like it's just like that's just like the worst, you know. And like to me, like anything I can do to prove that I'm not involved with them, I will do. Like I told this to Ryan too today. I mean, Ryan already told me he knows.
My thing simply cannot handle YouTube. Nick Vertucci, no one wants to see his ass. One thing that's interesting about Rip.
Yep.
Wait, I'm as heartbroken
Sounds
and
like
jaded
fun.
as anyone.
I mean, I feel like you
But that
kind of
doesn't
really
make it
addressed a
okay
lot
to
of
destroy
what
people's
was,
reputations without clear
written in
evidence.
your article as well.
Unfairly
And
going
I know,
through
I
hell
guess as
myself
people have been
last
saying,
week.
I haven't really seen much
I would
in
know
reference to you. I
this
haven't been
is
on
a
Twitter
true-
since Garrett dropped his statement, so I don't
this
know if
is
people
true
are
not
really
only of DJ
saying
I've
anything
been
about
getting
you.
texts and stuff, and so like I just personally like I mean I don't know, maybe it's nothing, maybe people don't feel like I was involved or whatever, but like the fact that my name was out there and like I felt like there was any like not like any lack of clarity was a problem to me. And like I mean like as I'm sure Sean and Joey and
Yeah, Garrett tweeted this 5 hours ago. I'm heartbroken and jaded as anyone, but that doesn't make it okay to destroy people's reputations without clear evidence. Unfairly going through hell myself last week. Unfairly going last week? I would know. This is not only true of DJF, but various others on the HCL staff as well. Let's be better. It's like, Garrett, you literally destroyed someone's reputation without clear evidence.
Yeah.
And that's how this all started.
Let's all be better.
And DJF couldn't have done it because he's been a friend. But I mean, I remember when he said, I'm confident no members of HCL have been involved. And then one of the people from HCL was involved. And now he's like, it couldn't be DJF because we're friends.
Yeah.
I'm not friends with Robbi. That's why she did it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yo, that can't be a reason. You can't choose who catches shit and who doesn't after you start a shit storm.
Yeah. Because you don't have evidence of either.
You don't have evidence of nothing. I have evidence that DJF's my friend. I like him.
I have a gut feeling.
And a gut feeling, you could never make a call on a gut feeling.
No.
You can't do that.
But he made a call to embarrass himself.
You know?
Stirring all this up.
Seriously. On a gut feeling.
Yeah.
This is very interesting concept right here. Robbi's gut feeling could not have existed. Whoa. He just had a...
He deleted his account? Did he delete his account?
I'm not sure. I'm seeing right now if he's a lawyer in the metaverse, but all he's doing is having people play a game. Should be something about Rip here. I think he is kind of I think he did delete his Twitter.
Like just now?
That's what it seems like.
It's crazy.
His Twitter looked like he had just made it up too, like this past week. All of a sudden he started putting posts up last 2 days. She's got her own. Oh, I was gonna say she got her own website, but it's just Instagram.
The worst, you know, and like to me, like anything I can do to prove that I'm not involved with them, I will do. Like I told this to Ryan too today. I mean, Ryan already told me he knows I'm not involved, but I told Ryan today, I said, if you want to see all my phone records, my wife's phone records, like you want to go to my computer, you want to see anything, I don't care. Like, yeah, there's some private shit, sure, but like, is there anything that I've done wrong or unethical? Never. And like, I'm happy to show that. I'm happy to show all the games in my name.
Mm-hmm. If you have any, like, have you ever thought, like, now that this information has come out, now that we heard Ryan possibly, you know, could be in on something, have you ever, like, do you ever think, like, oh, you don't have to name anyone, obviously, but you're like, oh, someone else, this seems like someone else might be, you know, looking back, that was suspicious, this was suspicious. Is there any of that that's going on?
A lot. I mean, yesterday at the game, post-stream, me and Doug talked for hours about this, where I was thinking, we were talking about, you know, what could be hallmarks of other players who are cheating, who are players who tank, who are players who have tank and make better decisions than when they don't tank. We had a long conversation with this. The day after it happened, me and Andy were playing in that off-stream game. The whole entire conversation was about, you know, is this possible? Did they cheat? Who could have been involved? I mean, this is all that's been going through my mind. Obviously, as someone who, like, when I play on the stream, I always buy in incredibly deep, almost always cover, and like, you know, so like I'm in a spot where if I'm getting cheated, it's like I can lose a lot of money, you know. And also like this whole thing with Brian palming chips, like this is incredibly stressful to me, and like the reason it's stressful, absolutely wasted. Sure, yeah, like I know I cover everyone, but I don't know how, it's like whatever. Can you see that?
A little bit.
I'll just it to Joey.
I'm more of like, you know, one thing I've learned in this whole poker business here is everyone seems credible when they talk, but you know, maybe there's like an exception or two, but most people come on here and they've
I can't take all this time with you.
It's definitely true. There's plenty of
I don't
players
want to watch this nigga's thing
games. I mean,
so
it's just the truth. I mean, just the truth. And like,
what about you guys think
David Tuckman absolutely crap, man.
So you didn't even win in the game?
Rip joined.
No, I didn't win at all. I lost 50K the first night I played, and I lost 70,000 the second.
All right, the computer doesn't even want me to continue. I'm done with this.